next. Third, second, first,
Holy moly!
Bang, and there it is, right on cue.
How's that? Less straight to Davis. How good was that?
We about to make a ground. We've got to make this count. Take the ball and raise it now. Make noise and crazy loud. It's all moment, let me hit.
Jake Tucker's taken off.
Outstanding. Glenunga certainly have a great
Soup, you're outstanding, man. Well done. Congratulations on the flat.
Oh!
a bin chicken.
Your 2024 premiers, the Port District Football Club. Congratulations, you legends. You are the best team.
Here we are out here at Country Homes Living Reserves for a grand final rematch of epic proportions. It is going to be Port District taking on Glenunga. Grand finals, they're special for a reason. One team tastes the euphoric top of the mountain, the other leaves with a deep feeling of despair. Glenunga went 17-1 last year before Port District's got them on the last Saturday in September. But I tell you what, you know what they say, revenge, it is a dish best served cold. This year the Rams are 1-4 and they need a spark. Here, at Country Homes Living Reserve, against a club who ruined the Rams' best chance at a flag, can they get the ultimate revenge? A massive thanks to our sponsors, Filming Footy, Sports Interactive, Classic Clushes, Custom by ORTC, High Five E-Bikes, Dartfish, Archie's, Jag Meatworks and Kimberley Resorts. With thanks to Filming Footy, this is the Adelaide Footy League.
Pocket.
Here we are, footy fans. My name is Lockie Gould. I'm joined by the great Adam Jeffries for the pre-game discussion. Adam, how are you, mate?
Yeah, good, a bit windy, but other than that, I'm very well, thank you. Looking forward to today's game.
It's going to be a really, really great game. Speaking of things that are going to be great, we've got the new club rooms building behind us as well. How exciting is it going to be for Port Districts when these are finally done?
Good for everybody, good for commentators as well. Working on scaffolds today, but hopefully when we come back next season, we'll have the big Taj Mahal grandstand to commentate out of. So yeah, good luck to Port Districts. They're a big club now and they need the facilities.
Let's keep the discussion on Port District as well. Obviously, they've got a massive game coming up right here. What can we expect from them today?
Oh, they've started the season pretty well. We saw a bit of a premiership hangover 2 seasons ago. They sort of were a bit slow to get out of the blocks, but at 4-1, they're rolling into this season quite well. Glenunga will give them a test today, but they'll be pretty confident on their home ground.
I guess on the other side of that coin, Glenunga 1-4. What can we expect from them?
I think with the conditions today, we might talk about that in a minute. With the breeze, it might make it a bit of a lower scoring, scrappy game. So that'll help them out. I don't see them kicking a huge score today. But yeah, Glenunga, not the powerhouse team we've come to see over the last couple of seasons. But they've got enough talent on the park to cause an upset, and they need to get their season rolling. So I think today will be close.
What are the conditions looking like? Obviously, it's pretty dry underfoot. No rain in Adelaide in the last sort of 24 hours. But kind of talk through those conditions ground level.
No rain in Adelaide for the last 24 months, it feels like, Lockie. It's dry, but it is very, very windy. And when it's windy like this, it's very difficult for the players on the ball drop. I'd expect a scrappy game. It feels like it's going to head to the right of your screen. There'll be a bit of an advantage with the breeze. So if you see some skill errors on the screen today, just understand it is very, very windy. We're not far from the sea here, are we? So it is very windy here today.
That's it for now. From Largs Bay, we'll see you on the other side of these breaks.
Get a quick and easy low-rate car loan from Police Credit Union today.
New Hyoketsu. Vodka, soda, and frozen natural fruit juice. Hello, yes.
We've been housemates for, what, nearly 4 years?
Yep, basically since I started my uni degree and you got your apprenticeship.
It's been really good. Like, it's the little things, you know? Like, one of us is always around to house it when the other goes on holiday. And one of us is always ready to help the other out of jam.
I don't know. Yeah, happen again. It's usually me. My HECS doesn't leave a lot of room for holidays or working transportation or food. But it's worth all the debt, right?
No.
But what about your debt?
Debt isn't a problem for me. I get paid to learn.
You belong in blue. Apply for a career with South Australia Police.
Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the beautiful suburb of Largs Bay. Here we are at Country Homes Living Reserve, and this one is going to be absolutely fantastic. We cannot wait for this one. I'm joined by Adam Jeffries, and my name is Lockie Gould. Adam, how are you, mate? And how exciting is this one?
This is very exciting. Grand final rematch, isn't it, Lockie?
Yep.
So we're going to see two good teams go at it today, so very exciting.
Yeah, well, they had it snatched away from Glenunga. We thought for all money heading into that game that they would be the champions of the Division 1 BTO Excavations Adelaide Footy League last year, but it didn't happen that way. Unfortunately, it did go well. Unfortunately for them, fortunately for Port Districts, it went their way as well. And as we look to the top of the ladder, in second place you find Port Districts trailing only Sacred Heart. Right down the bottom of the ladder, you see Glenunga, though. They are 2-1, ahead of only the winless Payneham and the winless Broadview Tigers. What can we make from that, Adam?
Yeah, tough start to the season for Glenunga, and you could argue the game they did win, they were lucky to win as well. The game at Rostrevor, wasn't it? So, yeah, tough start to the season for them. Their team on paper still looks pretty solid, doesn't it? They've had good depth through the B grade over the last couple of seasons, but yeah, not the start to the season that they would have liked. But it's not all over for them yet, but they must get a little sneaky upset along the way, and today's the day to do it.
Question without notice, as we look at Port District, don't they look resplendent in that wonderful Guernsey as they make their way out on a Country Home Living Reserve? The question I had for you, though, is if they lose today, do they start looking at what's potentially behind them than what's in front of them? Do they start worrying about survival instead of finals?
Yeah, a little bit. You can't finish 9th, can you? We probably know who's going to finish 10th this year. But yeah, relegation in Division 1's almost, if you can't win the premiership, the next thing you got to do is avoid relegation. On the ladder in Division 1, typically the gaps between 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th are pretty minimal. So you got to get some wins on the board, but they won't be thinking about relegation yet, Glenunga. They'll be thinking that they can still make finals, but they've just got to find, like I said, a sneaky upset along the way.
Absolutely they do. And here we go, looking at Port District's last seasons as Glenunga make their way onto the ground. We'll finish that thought off in a minute. Here they go, Glenunga, desperate for a win, the Rams. They'll have to rampage, that's for sure, as they make their way out. Big players in, of course, obviously, in this squad in recent weeks. Abe Davis returned to the lineup a few weeks ago, and his impact has been pretty instrumental. He's still a massive part of that unit, isn't he?
Oh, yeah. It'll be interesting to see what he does today. He's been playing predominantly just at full forward. Obviously, he's recovering from some surgeries we hear over the summer. So, yeah, hopefully we see Abe Davis around the footy a little bit today as well as kicking some goals.
So here we are, Port District's recent seasons. You go all the way back 5 years ago, 2020, they finished 6th in Division 1, 2021 they finished 7th, and then the miracle story, they won the 2022 Premiership. 2023 they ended up back down in 4th, and then obviously the reigning premiers from last year getting over the top of the Rams, as we have already mentioned. Josh Ramsey, a 2-time Premiership coach, and he was delighted in September when it happened. Across the other side as well, Glenunga, Division 2, no relegations, they finished 10th, obviously that was COVID affected. Then they ended up going up into Division 1, and they have stayed there ever since. That was in 2021. 2022, they finished third, had an excellent first season, and then have been runners-up in the last 2 seasons. Hopefully for their sake and for their fans' sake, that ultimate success is coming soon.
Yeah, they just need to hang around. Like I said, they're a big club now, Glenunga, aren't they? They've got plenty of depth through the grades, good junior program which will produce good footballers, and they just need to top up with good recruits along the way. But yeah, as we know, 17-1 last season. It's a pretty epic season, isn't it? Just got done in the last game. Even when they came into Division 1 in their first season, straight up to third, So, yeah, I think we're all a little bit surprised at where they are. I don't think pre-season we thought they'd be 1-4 after 5, but here we are. But like I said, they've got 13 games of football to go. They need to get the ball rolling today. Like I said, sneaky upset. They're due for one.
Yeah, absolutely, they are. They are due for one as well. Of course, the last 5 seasons will have been under Nathan Grimer. We're going to have a look at the Port District team list in a moment, but I am just going to go back and have a little bit of chat to you, Adam. What have you made of Alex Guy's run so far as coach? Obviously, it's still relatively new.
It's a super tricky thing to do. I think we all regarded Grimer as one of the great coaches of the competition, one of the great coaches that the competition's ever seen. And he had a certain game style that his team played. Now, whether he wants to change that, he's got to put a little bit of an imprint, but that game style is so ingrained into his team. He's not going to change too much. Tough taking over in those circumstances because really when the team's finished runners-up, you either win it or you haven't improved, have you? So, tricky one for him, but he'll be there for the long term. I think it was all planned, a nice succession with him. So he's got a few years to, not just this season, he'll have a few years to imprint his style onto the team.
Well, we do have a look. Speaking of teams, there is the Port District's team lineup. Have a look at that. There are players all over the ground, including a couple of new ones for Dominic Denton. And he was 30. He was in the 31. He's now in the 26. Oscar Kilpatrick. So 4 and 26 new players and making their A-grade debuts. Congratulations to both boys.
They've got a good mix, haven't they? We know that they've got some experienced players that have played SANFL and AFL football, but they've got some kids coming through as well, which is important. It's important while you have players like Lysette, Rose, Haynes running around. You've actually got to blood kids to play 20, 30, 40 A-grade games whilst those guys are still there. So when it's their turn to be the star player, they've got that little bit of experience. So the only notable out really for Port Districts I can see at the moment is Louis Sharrod. He's a big out. Not sure what his injury is, but hopefully he'll be back soon. But yeah, they've had a good start to the season. Again, their goal scoring is probably the only worry, but we've seen Lysette slip forward a little bit more this year, haven't we, than in past?
Yep.
Really strong across half-back and through the middle of the ground, and they'll get that many entries, they'll kick a winning score.
Over the other side as well, Glenunga. No debutants for them, but they do get the return of Eli Redmond. Obviously, he comes from a great football kind of lineage. His brother is over in Victoria at the minute with Essendon doing some great stuff there. Talk to us through this team here, Adam.
Yeah, we look forward to the ruck battle with West against Lysette. That'll be interesting. West had such a great season last year, but probably just lowered his colours in the grand final a little bit to Lysette, but that's okay. You'd expect that a little bit. Obviously great. We weren't sure what was going on with Abe Davis, were we, over the summer? I think he missed the round 1 or round 2, and then he's been back since, kicking a few goals. I'll be watching where he plays today. I know the first couple of weeks he just played the deep forward role, but hopefully we can see Abe start to move around the ground and do the things he's done over the last 2 seasons. Arguably probably been the best player in the competition over the last 3 seasons.
There we go. Players making their way out into the centre of the ground. We've got Agar and Niskahus.
And you'd want to probably kick with the breeze, Lockie, if you win the toss. Let's see what happens. And he's done just that.
Yeah.
Niskahus will kick to the right. So for viewers at home, Lockie, it's quite a stiff breeze. It'll carry the ball to the right of your screen. So expect to see a little bit more scoring, which is good for the commentators because that's the end we're sitting.
Yeah, well, I mean, we were speaking about it off air. We're pretty certain it's gonna spend a lot of time down this end of the ground, and we would like that to be the case as well because it'll make for good watching as well, kicking into the breeze. But it's going to be a real good game of footy as well. And did get a little bit of an update on Thomas McElhaney as well. He's moved from 40 to 38. I'll mention that the first time he grabs the footy is to the reason behind that one there. But obviously last year it was the grand final, a 20-point victory, 9-10-64, played 6-8-44. It was Port District getting the win there. Then you have a look at the other side in the finals, round 2, the semi-final. It was an absolute massive win there. It was 4-8-32. To 16-10, 106, and that was the point where we went, well, surely they have no challenges left, Glenunga, and they're going to win the flag. It didn't quite happen that way. Round 12, 2024, it was an 11-9-75 loss as the Rams got the win by 12-7-79. So just some recent results there. How much do you read into that? Do you read into it at all?
I don't think. Sometimes you can get a bit of a bitter game when you have the two grand final combatants going at it. But with where Glenunga are at this year at 1-4, they're not thinking about grand final revenge. They just need to get a win against anybody. And they'd certainly love to do it against Port Districts, but you can never take back what happens in the last day of the season in the grand final. There's never any revenge that gets that back for you. But Glenunga, like I said, I've got a lot of respect for them. I've got a lot of respect for the players and the way they go about it. So I'm not writing them off today.
Yeah, neither am I. I think it's going to be a great game of footy. Of course, the other fixtures as well. St. Peter's versus Ross Trevor, Broadview and Salisbury North, Golden Grove and Paynham, Sacred Heart and Prince Alfred, and of course we're down here at Largs Bay for Port District and Glenunga. Give us a tip in the other games there, Adam, and then I'll get you a tip for this one.
Yeah, I think I'm impressed with St. Peter's so far. Give them the edge by a goal. Salisbury North will beat Broadview, I would have thought, unless something strange happens. Maybe Broadview can kick accurately with the breeze today or something like that. We'll Paynham at Golden Grove. I've got to tip Golden Grove at home, but Golden Grove haven't been ultra impressive themselves, but Golden Grove by 2 goals. Sacred Heart will beat Prince Alfred by 6 goals. And my tip for this game?
Yeah, go on then.
I'm going to tip Port Districts by 6 points. I think we'll have a close, low-scoring game.
Yeah, I think we're going to have an absolute thriller down by the bay here, of course. And our sponsors, we cannot do this without them. Filming Footy, Sports Interactive, Classic, Clashes, custom by RTC, High Five E-Bikes, Dartfish, Archies, Jag Meatworks, and the Kimberley Resorts. Of course, we've got the prizes, and the man who makes the decisions behind those is Adam Jeffries. So there's so much to win, including the Best on Ground voucher. You got the beanie, the $50 pub voucher as well. And it is going to be absolutely incredible for anyone that can get their hands on those Archies, those pair of thongs. They are highly sought after. I'm pretty sure Abe Davis has given one to every single teammate he's had. He's had about 28 pairs in the last 2 years. So let's see if he wins another one today. But it's going to be a great game of footy, that is for sure. Port District and Glenunga, a grand final rematch here in round 6 of the Adelaide Footy League.
Great sponsors we have, Lockie. Quick shout out to Port Districts Footy Club as well, running with the facilities here, not where they'd like them to be, running bouncy castles for the kids, sponsors for them down there, and thanks to the Port Districts people who've brought us up some lollies as well, Lockie, thanks to the yummy snack tub. So quick shout out to them, and thanks to Port Districts for the hospitality.
Yeah, fantastic. We really do appreciate the hospitality. It's always great fun coming down here. I've just been handed my lollies, so here we go. Underway. Lyset, he's going to do battle there with Ruckman, and we are away. Eli Redmond comes running out of the centre, puts it inside forward 50, bouncing footy. Collected, and there's a good tackle. Defence here, no one able to really grab it. And Kilpatrick is getting involved nice and early. He's been stopped before he could really get going, and it's going to be a ball. Oh, no, it's going to be a free kick. He's been caught holding the ball. That is not the start he wanted.
Yeah, wow, good start for Glenunga getting the centre clearance. Might have to get a replay and have a look at that. We're a long way from that play, aren't we, Lockie? But this is the start that they would have wanted. Is it Smith with the football? He's going to line up. This looks easy on the screen. He's about 30 metres out, but he's right into the teeth of the breeze. So we'll get a bit of a guide here as to how that breeze is going to perform.
Ethan Smith. Kick is on its way for the opener. No, it's across the face. So potentially a chance goes begging early there for Glenunga, but they do lead this contest. They're one behind. Port District yet to score early minutes here on the Kieran Hayuketsu scoreboard. Ball long and out towards, well, potentially there should have been contact made there as Redmond comes running in again. There's a good tackle, and the umpire says we're going to throw that one up right in front of us.
You saw the carry on that kick out, Lockie, didn't it? You know, struggled to make the distance into the breeze on that set shot, and that ball has easily made the wing on the kick out.
Absolutely, it has. It nearly arrives, nearly gets out. Gaffney was wrapped up. Of course, there's a few Gaffneys running around in this league. We've got Cooper and Jack out there today, 12 and 15 respectively. Abe Davis doing the ruck work. He manages to get it down. Kick just hooked out, but it's going to be marked and taken by, funnily enough, Cooper Gaffney on the scene. He's tried to find Ferns with that kick. It might work. He was diving like a slips, but it's gone over. And the umpire says that one's going to be a ball up or a ball back in.
Early days, you can see that Abe Davis is running around on the ball, and he's actually doing some ruck work at the moment. And Lyset gone to full forward after that initial centre clearance. So I like that strategy.
As do I. Ball tapped down, or they might just get it out. Turned, and Abe Davis had the footy kicked into him, so needed an invitation to go and grab it.
I like the move of Abe Davis playing as a ruckman because he can compete in the air, can't he, Lockie? But he's so good on the ground. He's a ground level player for his size as well. So I think it's a good role for him. Don't expect him to do it all day as they go on third man up already.
Ferns tapped it forward, waiting at half back there. Oh, Gray trying to work his way round, did well. Then the kick inside forward 50. Lyset's down there, he was resting forward. It rolls, Rose stuck a foot out. Still there with Rose, and that one's gone over the boundary line. Sorry, over the behind line is what I meant to say. It's behind. It's a point, and we're all tried up. Tregarkis is going to take the kick in. Tregarkis finds Faye.
I think they'll go slow and steady here, won't they, Lockie? They'll keep it skinny. This will be interesting to see. That's my first time watching Glenunga play this year. They very rarely switched the football last season under Grimer. Long up the line early in this game.
And towards the near side, ball bounces towards the front of the pack. Davis was waiting down, he gave it across there to the running man in Marini. Up and down, and no one able to quite grab it. Here we go. DeSera arrived, gave it to Smith. One bounce. Surely this is going to be a goal. Glenunga get the first. Ethan Smith running into the open one.
Great goal for Glenunga, coast to coast. It was a patient build-up initially, but once they got the numbers onto the wing, and it was the crumb at half forward, wasn't it? And then the open field, and good pace by Smith. Some players get nervous in that situation and kick the ball early, but he knew he had the toe to have a couple of bounces, run all the way in. Important goal into the breeze. Like a great start for Glenunga, 1-1 into the stiff breeze.
Yeah, it's an excellent start for the Rams. Could this be their day? They'd be desperate to go 2-4, and as a consequence, Port Districts would end up being 4-2. A little bit of argy-bargy in the centre. No love lost there between Gray and Pearsons. Both then ended up at the footy. And an immediate tackle by Ferns. He was a new recruit in the off-season.
So we see now Davis has gone to full forward, West on the football. Lyset staying at full forward.
Goes up. Big kick. Just a clearance inside forward 50 here for Glenunga. They've started hot. Smith's there again. He was the last goal kicker. Dancing and trying to weave his way round. And that one's just off the side of the boot from Wonky. Didn't quite work out. Gaffney's in there. He's then immediately wrapped up by Davis and by Smith. Will then throw him back to the umpire. Davis tapped it down, was trying to find Wonky, wasn't able to. Oh, then going to be thrown back up. The ball does go back up. Tapped down, and no one able to really get that one anywhere.
This is where players need to be smart, Lockie. 3 or 4 ball ups in a row. Sometimes umpires get itchy trigger fingers, so you've got to keep those tackles in low, not get around the neck if you're Port Districts.
Ball gets slapped out. And there was another low tackle, as Adam was just saying. That time Smith is the tackled.
It's easier said than done, isn't it? But you've got to be super disciplined, not be too over-eager sometimes.
Ball right in front of the goal. A quick snap would get Glenunga on the board again. This time it's a clearing kick. Came from Haynes. Ball towards the outer side. And it should work its way, and it does. Wind blowing an absolute gale at the minute. West is the player that's after that one. He's going to track it. Didn't quite, needed some assistance. Pearsons was there. And they're still trying to run their way out. Ferns, West. And that one is going to be a ball up.
A lot of pressure early, a lot of numbers around the football, isn't there, Lockie, making it hard to get some simple possessions away.
Absolutely, it is. Ball just punched forward, bouncing back, collected. Pearsons again. And now Nash, he was trying to come zipping out, but he wasn't able to. Footy was intercepted. And then there's a good mark taken back there. They turn one way from Gaffney. Then it's out towards the near side wing. Fired back. Kick then coming in, Tregarkis. It was a long kick into the area, and that's a great mark as well. Smith turns quickly, plays on, sets sail for home, and that one is across the face. Ball falls down. Still trying to dance their way out. They do eventually, and here we go. Port District have got a little bit of run on the outer side. It's going to sit here for the first gamer, and Denton. Is he able to trap it? He is. Dominic Denton goes blasting inside forward 50 and finds Lyset.
He might be out of a shot here. Doesn't have the length in his kick that he used to, Lyset, but he does have a stiff breeze at his back. Now he's looking across the ground.
Lyset goes towards and finds Dinoff. Well, he had a couple of options there. Dinoff and Gould were both running back. It was Dinoff who took the mark in the end. And what can Alex do from this position?
just judged that really well, Dinoff, and it's very tricky for defenders. You don't want to take that front position. You almost want to stay on your opponent's back shoulder when the ball's going to carry. But having said that, good mark by Dinoff.
Dinoff lines up. Kicks it, goal. Oh, drags it all the way across the face. Not one of his best ones, and that one was 2 behinds to the Rams at 1-1-7.
He's in a tricky spot there. Again, at home, it probably looks like an easy shot for goal, but that ball drop is just coming right across him. So you've really got to place the ball onto your boot. A little bit of a nervous ball drop there after what was a really good mark.
So reliable experience in Temi has the footy. He decides outer side is where he'll go. Pack forming. Punch came from Haynes at the back. Now on the outer side is Faye. Faye then kicks it up the line. That's a great grab for Wuntke. He then turns and kicks it to Davis. Davis might unload, decides to go towards the hot spot. He's got 3 players there and 1 defender for Port District. It was the right decision. Nash arrived quickly on the scene to recover. Back over it again, and that is a great tackle by Haynes. Stopped Opperman in his tracks.
That Haynes back there, that was tremendous play. He was literally 3 against 1, and you don't often see that in the D50. Normally the defenders have an outnumber, but that was a great 1%er by him. Saved a goal.
Right on there, Nash, Haynes. Of course, a couple of Haynes out there. Got Joey as well. He's tallying up the coaches' votes this year as well. Coming off a 2-voter last week as well. Well, then towards the back, Rose. And that one's a intercept mark, and that is drama, absolute drama there, as Butterworth lines up for a shot at goal.
Yeah, those things happen. Like I said, so many numbers in the defensive 50. Those little hat kicks, you're almost better off placing it out of bounds on the full, slightly back into play. And again, it'll be a tricky shot for goal, Lockie. Let's see what the Breeze does on this occasion.
Butterworth, he is a good kick. Coming back and shaping it nicely, but he's missed.
It's a tricky one. It's like I said, it's easy in the commentary box, isn't it? But you've got to really punch that ball in low. He just sat that up for the Breeze to just drift it away.
And towards the near side, as Adam mentioned on the first kick out, he's gone absolute miles there. It's ended up on the wing. Carpenter, he's involved and he's caught very quickly. Redmond was making sure he was going nowhere.
Their pressure's fantastic so far, Glenunga, isn't it? Like I said, Port Districts has certainly got the aid of the Breeze, even though it's tricky for both teams. But yeah, Glenunga, fantastic start. 5 inside 50s to 2. 6
points the difference here at Country Homes at Living Reserve. Ball then fires out the back. Ferns gone without it. No, it was blown in the end. Ball's going to go inside forward 50 there, and that one is a mark going the way of Ethan Smith.
Is that Smith again? He's been everywhere in this first 10 minutes, hasn't he? This is looking, it's a good tackle there. Again, the pressure of Glenunga is what set it up. They took the quick advantage, and yeah, Smith's the player just out of nowhere, just bobbed up. This is his 3rd shot on goal already. He's already had a couple of other inside 50s as well. Fantastic start for him to this game.
So what can Smith do?
Needs to punch the ball in just a little bit lower, really kick through the football.
See if he follows your advice. Is he listening to the stream on Filming Footy? Kick is on its way. It's coming back. Shaped magnificently. And there's a really, really nice goal. Ethan Smith, it's a number 2 on his day, and it's Glenunga's 2nd as well. They're out to a 2-goal lead. And amber alarm bells ringing very, very early for Port District.
Yeah, still a long way to go, but yeah, Glenunga's certainly on top at this early stage. As I said, they've had all the field position despite kicking into the Breeze. Port Districts haven't been able to string together, bar one. They've been able to go coast to coast to get the shot on goal, but other than that, the ball's repeatedly come back in. So good start for Glenunga. This is the style that we've seen them play.
Of course, I was just going to say, we're seeing the Kieran Hayoketsu scoreboard out there as well. Go back to the centre. One comes back down. Long, high, arching footy. Rolls out for Redmond. Redmond, he might be able to turn and kick it goal, and that one is not going to quite work out in the end. Still, the footy's just ping-ponging around in the forward pocket here for Glenunga. They are dangerous. Footy comes back in. Still get collected in his, and they're going to fire it back. Michaelani came in then. No one able to quite grab it, and in the end, Carpenter does. Carpenter, though, caught very quickly, and that's going to be holding the ball.
He won't be able to shoot for goal from this far out. He'll have to look for another pass or kick the ball to the top of the square. He's going to quickly play on.
Does do that. Long high footy was waiting down with Pridham. Potentially, his brain was going a million miles an hour when it just kind of hit him and he wasn't able to quite react and pick up the footy.
Again, all the field position, 8 inside 50s to 2. And just to remind everyone at home that they are kicking into the strong breeze.
Ball goes up and quickly wrapped up there. Is any attacking action is stopped for Glenunga.
An amazing amount of numbers around the ball as well, so it's really, really hard for Port Districts to clear the ball.
Ball up again. Gray fired it out. Little kick towards Rose. Rose then provided a punch. Carpenter arrived very quickly on the scene as well. Ball at the back. Here come Glenunga turning the other way. Back inside forward 50. Fay, he's got Redmond on the outside of him. He was ignored. Umpire blew the whistle.
I think it was holding the ball. Good tackle there. Much needed as well because he was going to drive him in deeper again.
Yeah, they've been dangerous, haven't they, Adam?
And they're away here, quick coast to coast.
Ferns looks up. The back, the footy's going to bounce. Bouncing across the face. And it does do that sometimes, football. It's a bit of a crazy game where it just kind of gets end on end and bounces, but a minor score, minor damage for Glenunga. Ball now at the back with Butterworth. We saw him have a shot for goal earlier from a very difficult angle. He was saying, Adam, that it was just not quite gonna, that just didn't quite shape back for him. Great mark there as well.
Fantastic intercept mark there on the far wing. Great body work.
That's Kilpatrick out there. So he played defence in the Sample Under-18s with Woodville West Torrens for a very, very long time, a couple of years there, and has ended up at Port District.
Looks right at home in the Division 1A grade football. That was a great intercept mark.
Footy now unloads from Carter. Well, trickles down. Dinoff picks it up towards goal, but he's missed.
Much better defence there from Glenunga as well. When that high ball came in, the defenders were on the back shoulder, not allowing the prime position to the forwards out the back.
Abe Davis takes a kick in. Being a master of all trades at the minute. Abe, forward, midfield, started the year forward and has just about worked all the way back. Dangerous kick, but it worked out okay. Butterworth's getting involved. Had quite a lot of the footy. He's in this week. Temi, ever reliable. And he finds on the wing a couple of loose players. Carlo Vasitas was the one that sent the footy inside forward 50 in the end. And he's looked up and found Opperman. Opperman charging inside forward 50, and he's found West.
That is absolutely fantastic football from Glenunga. You asked about the coach, Guy, and what might be different. The switch of the football out to the fat side and then back into the corridor. Fantastic ball movement into a stiff breeze, but great precise kicking and a clever kick by Opperman. He just set it up for Big West to come and have a run at it. He's a big man. And for a big fella, I don't want to moz him, Lockie, but he normally has a really nice ball drop. Call it home.
Here we go. Let's see what he can do. West, he started in and... well, I think you might have cursed him, Adam.
Yeah, tricky shot, but yeah, normally he's got a nice ball drop, Big West. But again, the build-up from Glenunga, absolutely fantastic football by them.
2-3, a couple of missed opportunities, but none of the opportunities they've missed have been particularly easy. Sorry. Long high footy from Haynes. He's a big kick of the ball, and it might have worked out. Rose gave the tap into Gray, and then Niskahus. Gets it charging inside forward 50. Given back. Niskahus still running. He had a couple of defenders trailing behind him. Send it up towards the hot spot. Abe Davis tried to come in with the big paw. He might win the footy back, and he does. Interception, well done. Matthew Rose. There's a couple of Roses out there. Matthew, Logan, and Zach. And it's going to be Matthew, the South Adelaide champion, lining up for a shot at goal.
Yeah, Rose can get the distance easily here. As soon as he took that mark from the hat kick, he knew with the breeze at his back he would have a ping. Good pressure that time, and a good kick by Niskus to the top of the square to really put Glenunga defenders under pressure.
Let's see what he can do. Matty Rose, kick is on its way, and he has nailed it! Straight through the middle from Matthew Rose. It's a bit of a low pie floater, wasn't it? Have a look at this on the Dartfish replay.
Yeah, like I said, with the breeze at his back, he was obviously confident he could get the distance. and he did make it easily. Good settler for Port District. Like I said, they've just been slightly outplayed so far. But well done to them. Well done to Rose. Does kick a lot of goals. Plays a bit of a role on the wing usually now. It's been a versatile player, can play half forward, can play on ball, can play half back, but settled down as the wingman for Port Districts and a good intercept and a good shot for goal.
Back in the middle we go. Weston Lysette. And Lysette works that one out. Towards, well, it was towards Denton. He was, of course, on debut, searching for his first goal today. Wouldn't that be the perfect story for him? Tried and tried and tried to work his way into the senior team and eventually has. Footy now. Back with Butterworth. Ball just kind of sits there. No one able to quite win this one out, and then it is just sent into a little bit of orbit. A high footy. Rose nearly got there, wasn't able to. Temi, he tackles. Opened up the door though. Carpenter, a shot towards goal and he's missed.
Great forward pressure again from Port Districts. It's difficult for the forwards to mark the ball in these conditions, whether you're with the breeze or against it. And that great ground level representation there. Quick snap missed. He's capable carpeting from that range. He'll be disappointed he didn't nail that through.
See what happens here with the Rams. They are away now. Kick out through Jack Scott. He's worked it wide in that pocket.
Let's see if they consider a switch again. Lockie, like I said, very seldom switched the football last year. Port District's got it covered. But he did look and indicate that he would use it if it was on.
Just wasn't there on that occasion, so something potentially Alex Guy's worked into the system here at Glenunga. Meanwhile, ball was to the back and sent towards the hot spot, towards that full forward line, but intercepted from Tregarkis. Tregarkis looks and out towards the boundary line, and that's a great grab. Almost unopposed in the end, but was able to take a nice mark. Footy then in the hands of Opperman. Opperman goes up the line, and that one's going to fall down. Collected. Here goes Kilpatrick, running hot at the minute in his debut. Ball goes back inside. Forward 50, bouncing. Collected. And here they go, turning one way, then the other, and getting out of drama was Scott.
Now it's Port's turns for a lot of repeat entries, isn't it? They've just can't clear the football at the moment, Glenunga.
How will this Glenunga back six hold up with multiple repeat inside 50? So Port Districts have almost completed a switch of their own. Ball nearly inside forward 50 from Gray. Fired back towards Gaffney. It's Gaffney's kick that started the last one. Ball now goes inside. Dinoff should rip it out. Wasn't able to. Rose arrived quickly. Dinoff still got it. Snapped it out about 4 metres towards Ferns. Ferns then Bayun. Bayun wrapped up. It's a great crowd in here at Port District as well. We'll just take a second to acknowledge everyone that's made their way in.
They were huddled down this end of the ground where a lot of the players been over the last couple of minutes. Last 6 inside 50s they've had Port Districts.
Well, they're either here or they're inside the club rooms as well. Absolutely fantastic. Soon to be the old club rooms with the new development going on as well down here at Country Home Living Reserves in Largs Bay. Check it out next time Port District do have a home game. It's fantastic. Ball out towards the outside, and that is an absolute ripping tackle on Gould to get him across the line.
Just need to hold firm here. Glenunga, don't they? They've had a great start, but you can see teams can score quickly with the breeze at their back. Won't be a long quarter either, Lockie, so a couple of minutes to go here. Glenunga will want to hold on.
West tapped it back. Clear and kick. Heads. That one's ended up on the roof.
That one won't be coming back unless some brave kid wants to jump up there and grab it.
What's you doing it at quarter time?
No. Even though those Sharons are worth about $100, aren't they? It might be worth jumping up there.
Well, there's a couple hanging out at Adelaide Footy League HQ.
So these are the kicks you need to be smart with. It's easy to just blast the ball and it carry too long. You've actually got to put it to a dangerous position, about 20 out, which he's done.
Gould, the kick came. Ferns arrived quickly. He then fired back. Kick was missed from Rose. And now they should be able to get out Glenunga, although it's a little bit scrappy at the minute. Ball's planted on the deck. Ferns fired it back out. Rolling forward and sidestepping. Carpenter dumped into the dirt. And the umpire has rewarded Glenunga for the holding the
Fantastic
ball
tackle
free
there.
kick.
Carpenter being a left legger, I thought was going to sell the candy and get onto his left. Fantastic tackle.
Redmond emerged from the side of the pack and held onto the mark as well. That was in front of Kilpatrick. Kick from Redmond. Towards the wing, Lysette brought it down. Haynes is there too, and that one's going to trickle over. Plenty of instruction on that bench.
It's good for the coach because, like I said, he's right in front of where all the action is at the moment. Looks like Glenunga are going to try and roll a spare behind here. Like I said, they want to protect this tiny little lead if they can going in the quarter time.
It was a soccer kick, just kind of threw his leg at it, trying to get the half volley. Then Abe Davis, he's ended up back with the footy again. Kick inside forward 50, West. Got two hands to it, but couldn't complete the mark. Haynes, as he so often does off half-back, just pounds a long footy out. Ball bouncing over the head of everybody. Now it's a one-on-one. Dinoff is there, but his opponent wins out towards the boundary line. It was a clever kick then from Agar. If he meant it, what's the umpire say?
Last touch, is
Last touch.
So, again, is he going to have a shot for goal? He might look for a short pass or to the top of the square, but with the breeze, he might be able to just set it up on the far post and drift it back.
See what happens here. It's a massive kick in the context of this game. That's, he's gone towards the hot spot instead. Carter, and it's cleared through.
That's the kick you don't want, isn't it? You either got to ping it goal and clear the line, or you've got to set the ball up to 20 metres so your forward's going to have a genuine jump at the ball and then there's a ground level crumb available.
Redmond back pocket. Gray stands the mark. Great tracer bullet kick, but 2-on-1 is how the contest ended up, and it was a mark taken by Ferns at the back. Of course, that's Jack there. Is it back inside forward 50, bouncing footy. It's a little bit of a chaos ball, but that one's towards the boundary line.
Just done well, Glenunga. They've soaked up a couple of minutes, haven't they, where Port Districts have been pressing. They've had the last 8 inside 50s, Lockie, but only the 1 goal on the board so far for Port Districts.
Redmond just getting checked over then by the trainer. Goal kickers are Smith with 2, Rose with 1. Ball comes back in. And a combined 3 goals, 9, so that probably speaks to the conditions, doesn't it, Adam? Very windy out there.
Yeah, it's tricky for the players.
Blows up Lysette, gets it out. Carter was waiting, snapping back towards goal. How's it bounce? Well, it was taken over. Wonderful, almost Superman effort to get that one touched and over. Came from Brooks.
Yeah, it was well done. He had to use his body and get to that ball because it was going to drift in for a goal. Again, Glenunga will know there's not a lot of time left and they'll just want to kill the clock here.
Potentially Carter had his Bianco magic moment stolen from him there. Ball then and towards Temi, and Temi, well, he was told to play on, then it was a bit of a stop-start and got it moving again. Over the top, ball falls down. They start to fire through here. Smith, kick, Haynes, tracking it, did well, and he was, well, quarter time siren beats everybody. It is 1-7-13. The Rams are 2-3-15. It's 2 points on the board. And we'll be back in the Division 1 BTR Excavations Adelaide Footy League on the other side of these messages.
Get a quick and easy low-rate car loan from Police Credit Union today.
New 氷結 Vodka, soda, and frozen natural fruit juice. Hello, yes.
We've been housemates for, what, nearly 4 years?
Yep, basically since I started my uni degree and you got your apprenticeship.
Yeah, it's been really good. Like, it's the little things, you know? Like, one of us is always around to house it when the other goes on holiday. And one of us is always ready to help the other out of jam.
I don't know. Yeah, happen again. It's usually me. My HEC stat doesn't leave a lot of room for holidays or working transportation or food. But it's worth all the debt, right?
No.
But what about your debt?
Debt isn't a problem for me. I get paid to learn.
You belong in blue. Apply for a career with South Australia Police.
And we are back here at the Country Home Living Reserve in what has been an enthralling first quarter of the grand final rematch. It was Port Districts who got it done last year on that second to last Saturday in September. And here we are having a look at Coach Ramsey, having a bit of a conversation with his troops there. So it'll be very interesting to see what his insights are. But you just wait. What would his insights be, do you think, there, Adam?
Yeah, I don't know. He's talking about a bit of field position there. Might be disappointed with some of the forward entries, maybe not getting into dangerous spots to put the Glenunga defenders under pressure. But like I said, they dominated the last 10 minutes. It was all Glenunga really for the first 15. They had all the field position. They came to play with tremendous pressure. They wouldn't let Port Districts clear the ball, but in that last sort of 7 or 8 minutes, the ball lived in front of us, didn't it, Lockie? They couldn't clear the ball, Glenunga. Port Districts had the last 8 inside 50s. But they've only kicked the 1 goal so far. There's 1 goal, 7. Some of them are rushed, so it hasn't been just inaccurate goal shooting. It's been rushed and pressure. But a really good start for Glenunga, but there's a long way to go. See what they can do with the breeze at their back here.
Would that conversion be a worry, do you think? I mean, obviously 1 goal 6 isn't ideal, but how much of that do you think you can put down to the conditions?
Nah, the conditions that we saw, there was the 1 shot for goal, wasn't there, in front of us? That was probably one you'd like to have back, but there was a lot of rush behinds as well in there, so it doesn't always tell the tale, but they'd like to be scoring more than 1 goal from 12 entries. They'll need to get more efficient as this game goes on.
Of course, over the other side as well, what would the messaging be, do you think, for Glenunga?
Oh, he'd be happy with that first quarter, you know, coming up against Port Districts on their home deck, and when you lose the toss and you've got to kick into the breeze, sometimes things can happen. The opposition can go bang, bang and kick some early goals, and it's a long way back, but they've got the lead at quarter time, and they've got the breeze at their back now, so we'll know more about this match at half time, Lockie. Like I said, it is a genuine breeze here today. It's not just something that's popping up and, you know, carrying the ball an extra metre or so. This is a genuine, you know, almost 4 to 5 goal breeze. It feels like the ball is carrying a long distance to the right of your screen. So, but that doesn't always make it easy for the forwards at that end as well. The ball carries over your head a lot, so you've really got to try and judge the football as you come in.
Yeah, absolutely you do. It's going to be a real tight tussle here, and again, as you say, we will know more at half-time after both teams have had a shot with the breeze, as you do in every game that's got a bit of wind around it. It's going to be very interesting to see how this quarter is kind of responds and unfolds, and whether or not there is still a Glenunga advantage. You would expect there still to be a Glenunga advantage at half-time, considering they are kicking with the wind now. It was a really, really good quarter from the Rams as they look to get back on track in season 2025. Of course, season 2024, they got also close. Season 2023, it was much the same. Prince Alfred got them on that occasion as well, and now they are kind of stranded at the bottom of the ladder. But if they can win today, it'll go a long way to righting the first month of the season back on track. Here we go. Ball comes back down. It's Lysette for Port District who won the tap. Formerly, of course, of West Coast and of Port Adelaide. Sam Gray to go up the line. It's a nice mark taken there. Iskahus turns and Davis almost sniffs some blood in the water. All punched away. Collected by Agar. Fired back. Now the long high kick. Out and over the line, so it's going to be brought back into play. Plenty of things to note, of course, from the first quarter. Goal kickers Rose and Ethan Smith on the double. Ball about to get thrown. Ball about to be kicked back into play, just kind of working out. There we are. And it is now with Trigarchis. So Trigarchis looks up the line and decides to kick.
Got to be careful those little dinky 12-metre kicks at the moment. The AFL umpires aren't paying them. Sometimes that filters down to the local footy on Saturday. It looked like it just went the 15 metres.
Yeah, well, as long as it's 15, it should be paid. Oh, big fly up over the top. Wasn't quite there. Kilpatrick trying to take a screamer. Lyset rubbing quickly. Turning and snapping and bouncing. Back over, and here we go. Inside forward 50 was Hawkins. Lost out in the end. Collected. And a long kick. Opperman, he had some contact on him. DeSera looking and gone. It was a great tackle in the end, and he's quickly becoming a fan favourite down here as Liam Woody starts.
Yeah, much needed tackle because it was Smith who ducked out the back, was on his own if DeSera had got through there, but great goal-saving tackle.
Lyset, great grab, Ferns. Was able to get to the front of the contest and take a mark there. And the kick inside forward 50. A couple of rise high. Waiting down those Trigarchis, and he's got 3 Port District players around him. Tackle was laid then by Jack Gaffney. He'll ask the question, and I think the umpires rewarded him.
Yeah, it's one of those modern holding the balls where he's sitting on the ball, and the umpire just waited for him to knock it out and crouched down holding the ball. But again, we spoke about this in the first quarter. It's a tricky shot for goal from this spot. You've really got to get your ball drop right and punch the ball in low.
Jack Gaffney, one of the 3 Gaffney brothers. See what he does. Kick at goal. Oh, drifting. And I think that one's a behind. It is. It's touched. It was shaping back. It probably would have slammed into the post anyway. But it just made sure of it. So behind sees the scoreboard now 1-8, 14, 2-3, 15. And of course is on the Kieran Hayo Ketsu scoreboard. Long kick. So that one's going to be a free kick. There was a whistle that's gone. I think it's gone the way of Glenunga. All the way back it'll go.
We should see if they try and maintain possession or if they just go long and strong inside 50 and try and get some field position.
Still got the 1 point lead, so they've got scoreboard position, which is potentially the most important position in footy. Ball then sits. It was a bit of a one-on-one there between Haynes and Opperman. Ball's going to go over and be thrown back into play.
He'll be disappointed there, Opperman, and the ball just kept carrying. But he's had a good start to this game, playing as a sort of a second or third tall forward. Guy that spent a fair bit of time in the B grade with Glenunga's strong teams, but he looks good early in this game.
Broke into the A grade this year as well. Ball then kind of works its way forward towards the front. Turning, snapping, putting it inside forward 50. Ball falls down. DeSera was there. That one's going to be thrown back up.
Again, Smith hovering around, isn't he? Just looks dangerous, doesn't he? Getting on the move here again at the stoppage.
Absolutely the danger man, West. Nearly had it ripped out. One's going to be a ball up.
Lyset coming down now just to make sure West can't grab the ball out of the ruck. He was going to watch that, but now he's come down. He doesn't want West to grab the ball out of the ruck and snap a goal.
Lyset. Not able to quite win the ruck tap down this time. Agar spun round in a tackle. Was almost spent like a protractor, 540 there. And the umpire says we're going to have that one thrown back up.
Again, this is what Glenunga want. They've got field position, so they want to get in first, looking for a high tackle. Port Districts need to be super disciplined, get in low, or they're looking for a hack kick that can come straight back to the Glenunga numbers.
Ball goes up. Lyset that time got the fist forward. Gaffney was there. He had a shot at goal a moment ago. Joey Haynes, the footy ends with him. And the umpire hugs himself and says, I'll have it back, thank you. Nearly got it to him on the full. Tap forward. Smith, Redmond, dangerous. Gave it across to Smith. And it's behind as well.
Great lunging tackle again by Gaffney. You're seeing a lot of desperate tackles today from both teams, aren't we, Lockie?
And potentially the feelings of 6 months ago still hanging about in the air. It's a mark there going the way of the young man on debut, Kilpatrick. All falls down. Here they go, starting to link up. Through the middle, Faye turns, puts it a high up and under at the back. The footy's in a dangerous position here for Smith. Can he beat 3 defenders? He's not able to. Although that kick absolutely got the falcon on Gaffney. Turning off him and the ball fell to his opportunity. He's opportunity, and he's kicked the goal.
Yeah, well done by Glenunga there. Again, it was Smith, wasn't it? He's just hovering around that ground ball. He's an animal at ground level. Smith, super impressed with him today. Good reward for Oppum as well, who I think is moving around and looking really good in this game. So again, well worked by Glenunga. Much deserved goal, having some field position early in this quarter, and goals are going to be hard to come by. So everyone is priceless so far.
Back to the centre we will go. Of course, scoreboard 3-4-22. Port District's 1-8-14. That's, of course, on the Kieran Hayo-Ketsu scoreboard. Hello, yes. Thanks to the Kieran Hayo-Ketsu scoreboard. Ball goes up. We'll tap forward. Lie set. Rolling and after it. Little trickle. Gets at the back. Glenunga desperately defending. They were at half back. Ball ended up in the centre of the ground, though. And then came through with Nash Haynes. Haynes hit up Niskahus, and then back towards Haynes. And Haynes, hit his chest. The diving forward, wasn't able to complete the mark. And Niskahus went back in again and wrapped up his opponent.
It was absolute champagne football there by Haynes. The two lace-out darting passes into the breeze, unfortunately, just bounced off the big burly chest to the full forward, steaming out.
Well, then flicks its way over. Niskahus a little paddle. There's the snap from Gaffney, and he's got it. Response for Port District there. They had 2 goals, 8. Gaffney says, that's how you kick a goal, lads. And the Rams 3-4-22.
It's almost a bit nonchalant, wasn't it? It was a great snap coming out of the stoppage. I think they'll be disappointed, Glenunga. They pride themselves on that defensive work of not letting players get out goal side, but just the ball dribbled out goal side and just got a nice little bounce up and a good snap and a much needed goal for Port District. This game's pretty even, isn't it? And it's just going to come down to who takes those little half chances when it goes inside 50.
Yeah, absolutely. It is. It's going to be one of those kind of games where you're going to have to take your chances. Obviously, the scoreboard shows a 2-point difference now. Of course, Kieran Hayo-Ketsu scoreboard. Back in the centre, ball punched west. Holds it back, and Parsons was taken in a good tackle. Earns a tackle that time. Ball then thrown back to the umpire. Up we go, and we are away. Couple of paws fly at the footy. Ferns tried to come running through. Gray at ground level. Got it out eventually, and that one worked out okay. Passanidi. He's then found Niskahus at half forward. Niskahus turns. Trying to get it towards Rose. But that one's going to go over and out in a little bit of tangle of legs. As it ends up being thrown back into play.
After conceding a goal from the last stoppage here, I'm sure Glenunga will be locked on and goal side of their opponents.
They've got to be here, of course. Goals are at a premium in this match. We've mentioned the conditions. The wind, of course, playing havoc. If you're not here, it's very hard to describe, but it is blustery. Ball then works its way down. Little soccer towards goal, and that one, well, not troubling the scorers, we don't think. No, it is going to be behind instead. Kick came off the boot then of Dwyer. Here we go, long kick. Again, have a look at that. Coming down. Who was there? There were a couple of Port District players there. Picked up then and then fired back across. Gaffney was there. Move was started by Kilpatrick, and Lysets ended up with the footy. Looking potentially at the switch, but decided against that. So, down the line is where they'll go. Ball falls down, bouncing. Dwyer turning. Gets it out and on the boot. Towards Niskahus. Gould was there too. They're all lurking dangerously. And stopped pretty quickly there. The Rams fighting hard.
It's just a game of contest now, isn't it, Lockie? A lot of numbers gathering wherever the ball goes.
It is indeed. Faye just kicks it along the line, and no one's able to quite grab that one. Bayun, and he's wrapped up. Umpire's going to throw that one aloft. Well done, third man up there. Get towards the line, and then the little snap from Gray to keep it in. 1 grab and 2, umpire said play on, came off hands. Ball's just again along the deck, trickling. Great tackle. And the umpire says that one
Coming back to Port Districts.
is going to be a Port Districts free.
We'll be looking for a short darting pass here.
Niskahus sends it in the direction of a steaming full forward. And the mark's taken by Denton. Now, this is a big kick because this could be Denton's first goal for Port Districts in Division 1.
Good kick inside 50 there by Jason Niskahus. Really darted that in. And the debutant is it, Lockie? Tough shot for goal from deep in the pocket.
Denton, they'll get around him. On debut. Kick is across the face and the waiting continues. Tell you what, that might be an automatic winner for the Bianco Magic Moment if either him or Kilpatrick get their first goal.
So you're saying any goal could win the Magic Moment the way it's going. Like I said to the viewers at home, it is very, very blustery here, but it's a really tough game of football. A lot of tackling, a lot of numbers, a lot of ball ups.
Oh, speaking of going up, it was almost Trigarchis that flew. Wasn't able to complete the mark though. And again, we'll see the contestant footy at work. Game that might be one in the coach's box. Tactics will come into this one. Gray. Well, footy off hands, then Dinoff potentially snatched at the ball, and that one goes out and over. Plenty here enjoying it. Got at least a couple hundred in front of us just in the scaffolding area, let alone those in the club rooms. And spluttered around the ground as well. Great crowd in for a BTR Excavations Division 1 game as the footy gets cleared. Couple of flying, or big contact in the centre of the ground. Both players seem to have been okay. Although a little bit ginger back to his feet there is Opperman. And that one is going to be a great grab taken by Trigarchis. Trigarchis. And flicks it, and on the wing is Pridham. And flicks it back in. Again, Glenunga just building from the back.
Got someone out here on the flank.
Here they are. They did find Bayun. He's then going to get it back across. Pridham, kick inside forward 50 towards the big bear. Abe Davis wasn't quite able. And footy fired out. Back. Bayun was waiting. Snapped on goal. And out of bounds on the fall. And Abe Davis is down, which is not a great sign.
It was almost a little bit unlucky, maybe. Player coming back with the flight, maybe not looking at the football collected him, but he might just be winded, the big bear, so let's hope he's right to go.
Of course, the champion of the game, back-to-back, best and fairest medals. Keith Sims medalist. Rose. Matthew Variety in the back pocket. Kick towards the waiting fans, and it's gone over and out. Gray, of course, an AFL player in his own right as well. Had a number of games with Port Adelaide and then went to Sydney as well after Port Adelaide delisted him. Ball comes back into play. Everyone just kind of crowds around. It looked more like a pack marking contest than a ruck contest. Ball then spills out. Here we go. Snap on goal. Parsons misses. So everyone firing blanks at the minute. 3-6, plays 2-9. A margin of just 3 points.
Yeah, they're those little wobbling snaps that happen. Just today you need them to go through, don't you? Because like I said, all of these goals in this tricky conditions are going to be priceless.
Combined 5 goals, 15 between the two teams now. Well, out towards the outer side. Rose was there. Gould lost it, and then the kicks come back inside forward 50, so looks like it's going to be
Free kick to Opperman
kick
here,
going
is
the way
it?
of Opperman, yeah.
And in bad news as well, look, Abe Davis hasn't quite recovered from that knock. Like I said, I originally thought maybe he was winded. Let's hope it's nothing more than that.
Coming from the ground.
And Opperman is capable with the breeze at his back here.
Jordan Opperman had to work hard, toil away at the bees. He's gotten his A-grade opportunity now. Can he make the most of it? Kick on the way towards Wonky. He's got 2-on-1. Ball falls down, and Monty Studge very, very cleverly gets that one over the line. Haynes then. Fullback. Away we go. A long booming kick. And towards the outer side, Big Fist came in. Parsons saw it over, and there's a little bit of a collision point over there. Ball bets come back in here. Interesting game. 2 goals 10 plays 3 goals 7. Not one for those that enjoy a high scoring contest.
We saw some end-to-end football in the first quarter, didn't we, Lockie? But not this quarter. It's just been contest, ball up. A very tough in and under game of football at the moment.
Has been interesting to watch though, because it's those that are, it's going back. It's not going to be the spectacle today, but it is going to be interesting from a tactician's point of mind. This would have been one of the days you really enjoyed, Adam, as a coach.
Oh, you just got to try and find a method going inside 50 even there. That kick, that kick's got to get to a dangerous position to put the opposition under pressure.
Didn't quite work out. The Footy's going to get out on the outer side, although here come Glenunga back hard the other way. Kick towards goal.
Goal.
Wow, wow, wow. Absolutely unbelievable. And that looks to have come off the boot then.
Was that Deck Faye?
Potentially Faye, who's kicked that one. We'll have a look on the replay here and confirm the identity, because that was absolutely spectacular.
It was well played by West as well, getting the intercept. He had the long pot shot at goal with the breeze at his back, and through it went. So just what Glenunga need. Like I said, every goal is absolute gold today. Just keeping their nose in front.
Look, it did look like that was Declan Faye that kicked that ball. So, and of course the construction side as well. Have a look at that. That doesn't look like much at the minute, but it's going to be absolutely incredible when it is built down here at Country Homes Living Reserve. You can see what it's supposed to look like on the branding hanging off the fence there as well. The Footy's going to go.
Great tackle there by Parsons, I think it was. Should send his team deep inside 50 here.
Parsons, a kick with the wind at his back. Puts it inside. On hands and knees, just about everybody here. Footy rolls towards the back. And at the bottom of that pack is Moddy Starch doing what he does best.
Just having a little burst here, Glenunga, aren't they? They've had the last 3 or 4 entries. Port District's unable to clear the football, but they need to capitalise, Glenunga. Get another goal soon.
Lyset, ball just kind of fell at his side. He was able to grab it. Bodies everywhere. Kick cleared and rolling back. Here we go. Kick on goal. And they have got that. Oh, just offline from Tregarkis.
It looked good off the boot initially. That one didn't look like it just faded late. Again, as we said, Glenunga just having a little purple patch here, dominating field position and possession. As Haynes looking for the short pass.
Haynes.
Amazingly, Lyset all on his own.
How does that happen?
I think they're expecting him to go to the long bailout option, and he's come in short. Cleverly done.
It was. Got himself a couple of extra metres to use, about 20 of them. Ball falls down for Rose. Then it's slapped forward again. Carter got the headband onto, or they got the headgear on today, I should say. Ball then fired back through. Came off Kilpatrick. Back towards Gray. Little trickling footy. Work their way out and inside forward 50. Lyset's there again. He's grabbed it. He's got a couple hanging off of him. They need a couple to take him down as well. And fired towards the back. Lyset. Flick back towards Moddy Starch. And that. There's a warm reception. Because Faye's got the footy again and he pointed immediately. He said, I've got one. I'll have another if you don't mind.
He's obviously confident. He's got the leg. And like I said to the viewers at home, he does have the breeze at his back. He'll need to aim the ball at the left post and just let it drift back slightly. Let's see what he's got.
A couple of magic moments. If he can send this one through. Kicks on its way. It's going to go across the face. So got one. Not quite that time.
Kicked the ball with a lot of penetration there, didn't he? Didn't allow the breeze to grab hold of it at all.
He's got almost a laser there attached to his foot. He's just able to cut through anything, really. Absolute weapon. And Eli Redmond that time stopping the exit. So that was good work from him. Glenunga might get a turnover. Although Rose wrapped up that time. It was Logan, although the footy is going back to the umpire. Ball tossed back up. Towards the outer side. And that one's going to be thrown back in this time. Again, contest the king of the day.
Yeah, we'd love to get a count we've got a free kick plucked here, but there's been an unbelievable amount of stoppages. No real free-flowing open play so far in this quarter.
Rose scores at a premium, and inside 50s are at a premium as well, really. Carter.
It's a good mark down the line. This should give off to the opportunity for Port Districts to just clear the pressure from their back half, give their defenders a breather, who've been doing a lot of work in the last 10 minutes, and try and get some field position of their own.
Thomas Carter. And towards Ferns, and that's a great grab. Was able to juggle it and got it onto his chest. And let's see what Jack Ferns is able to do.
Plays as a midfielder, Ferns, doesn't he? But it's a really good mark. He's a big unit for an on-baller.
Gets it towards the goal square off hands and punched over. Tammy made sure that one wasn't going to bobble and do anything dangerous.
It's easy to be critical up here, but even that kick, you'd love it to just come to that 15-metre mark out from goal. So it's too easy for the Glenunga defenders to punch it through, as they'll get the long kick out down the commentary box side. They've gone short. Game at a bit of a standstill. Big pack forming in front of us here.
Really is. It's destined to come towards this pack. It's just a question of when someone releases the trigger and moves that play on. Here we go. The pack forms. There's 15 of them that fly. Footy comes down. Smith was the one that got the clearance. A little bit of a dangerous footy that works out from what he's touched. No one running back then to stop him. Haynes.
It was actually a good mark by Modest Thatch. It looked easy, but if that ball spills and hits the ground, the Glenunga are all over him, so a good relieving mark.
Had to be taken in the end. Rose, a matter of making sure there wasn't a score. Then falls back, and here we go. Working it forward now nicely is Dwyer. Footy should be picked up. Flicks back and through, and there, oh, that was some kind of save in the commentary box from Adam Jeffries. Nearly lost a bit of paper. There's tracking it back. Lysette makes no mistake. And kicks it right into the Rainwise pools. He'll be back there Monday morning, but that's a fantastic goal. 3-11, plays 4-9.
Still amazing to think how the big fella can be on his own so often, isn't it? But he just cleverly sort of ducked out the back of that contest and the ball dribbled through to him. Important goal for Port Districts. Like I said, they've been under the pump for about 10 or 12 minutes, but they just managed to clear the ball. A little bit of field position, and that's what the game's all about. It's just going to be contest pressure, field position, and you just got to take those little half chances.
It's excellent goal from him. Obviously playing footy out here and is working at Rainwise pools too. So the club president got him his job there. And fired out. Collected Gaffney. He was nearly wrapped up in the end. Ball kind of spilt loose. And that one.
And just while that was happening as well, Lockie, great to see Abe Davis back on the ground. Hopefully he was just pretty nastily winded, but no structural damage to the big fella.
Well, it's good to have him back out because the game loses something when he's gone. Carpeney. West. Got it across towards Smith. Bayun. Oh, maybe potentially took on too much. And got penalised for it as well.
That Gaffney's fantastic tackle by him.
It was, yeah. Gaffney, of course, not the only thing he's done fantastic across his time at Port District. Ended up winning the medal grand final day last year, Adam. You'll remember that. Had an absolute stellar performance.
It's the one you want, isn't it? And just as we've mozzed him, quick turnover and back inside 50 for Glenunga.
There was nothing stellar about that kick, and it's really opened some dangerous doors here for Glenunga. But they should win it out. Haynes. Kilpatrick.
Gaffney was very quickly back to mop up that, so well done to him.
Carpeney, yeah, you can make a mistake as long as you learn from it. That's what my boss keeps telling me.
Port Districts might be away here. They found some space. Gray.
Well, then should work out here from Dwyer. Dwyer then back on it. Oh, sold a little bit of candy. And then Michaelani charged in and got him. But the footy got clear in the meantime. Well, comes down. Rose does pretty well. Does Logan. Kicks it inside forward 50. Off hands there from Hawkins. And that one is going to be thrown back up. No, it's going to be a free kick.
Okay, not sure what that was for. But there won't be long to go in this quarter either, will there, Lockie? So Glenunga would have been hoping to soak up the seconds here.
So it is going to be Ferns who kicks it. Again, not long left in this quarter. Margin of just 4 points.
This is a guy capable of punching it into the breeze. Let's see what he can do.
Jack Ferns Gets it, shaping back, and I think he's kicked it, and they will come from everywhere. Gets a bit of embrace, because that was a fantastic goal. Port District in front for the first time here today.
Yeah, it's a pretty good shot for goal. Like I said, it looks easy, but he's about 40 metres out, right into the teeth of the breeze there, and he just hooked it straight through. So well done to Ferns. That's a fantastic set shot at goal. And 2 quick goals for Port District. See them back in front for the first time in this game, I believe.
They are, and I will correct myself as well. Obviously, they did lead this game very, very early stages, but it is the first time they've had the lead in quite a while. 4-11 plays 4-9. So I imagine just 3 points. Ball goes back up. It's way out, and that one is going to be, goes the way of Gray. No, going to be thrown back. Comes down, Gray gets it out. Bouncing Footy. No one able to either track it or want it. Tragarkis eventually goes and gets it, and that one is half-time. So it has been an entertaining contest, that is for sure. 4-11, 35, plays 4-9, 33. Imagine it just 2 points at half-time, and we will be back here for more from Country Home Living Reserves in the BTO Activations Adelaide Footy League.
Get a quick and easy low-rate car loan from Police Credit Union today.
New 氷結 Vodka, soda, and frozen natural fruit juice. Hello, yes.
We've been housemates for, what, nearly 4 years?
Yep. Basically, since I started my uni degree and you got your apprenticeship.
Yeah, it's been really good. Like, it's the little things, you know? Like, one of us is always around to house it when the other goes on holiday. And one of us is always ready to help the other out of jam.
I don't know. Yeah, happen again. It's usually me. My HEC stat doesn't leave a lot of room for holidays or working transportation or food. But it's worth all the debt, right?
No.
But what about your debt?
Debt isn't a problem for me. I get paid to learn.
You belong in blue. Apply for a career with South Australia Police.
Up and down. And here we are back at Largs Bay, Country Home Living Reserves. Port District are 4-10-34. Glenunga 4-9-33. It's been a great game of football so far. Across the other grounds, though, it looks like we've got some low scoring but tight contests, Adam.
Yeah, not surprising. It's a very windy day here in Adelaide. So we're not seeing a lot of high scoring games, a lot of inaccurate. And what that does, it maybe conducive to an upset or two, maybe lucky lot of football to be played, but you can see probably the one that stands out there is Prince Alfred leading Sacred Heart at Sacred Heart Middle School. I think that game's being played. So long way to go in that game, but a good start to that game for the Princes.
Yep.
Paynham.
I was just going to say 6-4-40 plays 5-3-33 there.
Yeah, Paynham just struggling again at Golden Grove. Golden Grove will be happy with that start to the game. 4 goals clear of Paynham. Broadview hanging in there against Salisbury North. That would be a turn up if they can stay close. Maybe Broadview just improved a little bit in the last couple of weeks. So it looked like they were going to be easy beats early, but 3 goals, 21. Imagine if that was 21 goals, 3. They kicked nearly 90 points at Golden Grove last week and still lost. So they are maybe just improving a little bit. We'll keep an eye on that one. And the Battle of the Old Scholars, St. Peter's v Ross Trevor. Ross Trevor just ahead by the 7 points. So we've got some low-scoring, tight games happening around Adelaide at the moment.
Yeah, potentially there. Ross Trevor and Prince Alfred, obviously a massive shock if that one stays the same. They would have shock. Ross Trevor as well. That one's a little bit confusing with me for mine as well, but the others would be staying exactly as we expected. And out onto the field come Port District, and they've had their moments, and then they've watched Glenunga have their moments as well. It's been a game of moments.
Yeah, every team's just had their turn of repeat entries and field position. But as you can see, maybe, Lockie, you can just feel that the breeze has died down a little bit now. Maybe not as strong as it was early in the match. Maybe we'll see some more goals. But what's happened is we've found teams being able to score goals into the breeze relatively easily as well, because what happens sometimes, they get that fast break into the open field, whereas the team kicking with the breeze is kicking into numbers and traffic all the time. So 4 goals each, low scoring game. Both teams have had some inaccurate shots for goal. Both teams have had a lot of rush behinds as well, Lockie. So sometimes the score looks really inaccurate, but there's been a lot of rush behinds as well. So 3-point ball game. If you said to Glenunga pre-match they'd only be 3 points down at half-time, I reckon they would have taken that. They can launch an attack from here.
Yeah, they certainly can. Still waiting for Glenunga to get out on the field, but I mean, who have been some of the standout players so far for you for the home team?
It's been a tricky one, hasn't it? Because the outside classy players haven't had a lot of chance to get hold of the football. There's been a lot of stoppages, a lot of in and under play. So it's been difficult for some of the outside players to really get amongst it. I've been impressed with Smith for Glenunga. I think he kicked 2 goals in the first quarter, but his ground level play inside 50 for Glenunga has been a real highlight for me, creating a lot of pressure on the Port District's defenders. We know that Abe Davis is playing a little bit sore. He hasn't had a huge impact on this game yet, hasn't he? He might see more time with him spent at full forward in this second half. Can he take a couple of marks and have an impact on this game? The time will tell. I was impressed with Faye that quarter as well. He had the 2 shots on goal. Port District's Lyset's been good, hasn't he? He hasn't just done a lot of ruck work today. He's actually found possessions around the ground. He sort of sneaks into these little holes. He's probably thinking that he'll go down the line, and all of a sudden the big fella bobs up like a sprinkler. He just pops up and he's in the open space. He kicked a goal in that second quarter. So he's a player that obviously Glenunga will need to keep an eye on in the second half. But yeah, I think we're going to see more of the same. We're going to see a lot of pressure. But who can take those little half chances? Who can dominate the field possession and then actually convert with those opportunities?
And you won't believe what's happening about 10 metres to our left here. It is the old coach and the new coach standing there having a discussion, just potentially Alex Guy gaining some advice off of Nathan Grimer.
Yeah, it's an interesting dynamic, isn't it? Obviously those two are good friends and get along. It's unusual for previous coach of the team to be hovering around, but I think, with the status that Grimer has and the friendship that he has, he'd just be talking a bit of footy. But I've seen some snippets of, you asked me pre-match, Lockie, about some potentially different game style that he might bring. We haven't been able to see it because it's a narrow ground here and it's been a windy day. But it just looked to me like maybe Glenunga were going to try and just switch the ball a little bit at times. They played such a contested down the line style under Grimer, and it worked really, really effectively. But they have fallen just short. I still think their personnel is strong. And this is why, I don't mind them just try and to do something a little bit different. So I'd be interested to see if we see them again through the season, Lockie, on a still day, whether they do look to switch the football and move the opposition's defence. Because I saw some snippets of it in the first half.
What are those two talking about? You'd love to know, but back to the footy, obviously. What can we expect from Glenunga? What do they need to clean up to be able to win this game?
Accurate goal shooting. It's going to come down to both. This is an extremely evenly matched game at the moment. Both teams, the inside 50 numbers are pretty much the same. Scoring shots are almost the same. Like I said, both teams' prime movers haven't been able to dominate because of the contested nature of the game so far. So sometimes we see these arm wrestles, Lockie. I speak about the arm wrestle a lot, and then sometimes the game can open up a little bit more in the second half. But it is still a little bit windy, although it may have died down in the last sort of 90 minutes. It might not be as strong. So let's see what happens. Glenunga can't let the defensive pressure let up. But Port Districts as well, they've had some great defensive efforts as well. So let's see what happens.
3 points the difference so far. You can see that on the Kieran Hayo-Ketsu scoreboard. Of course, don't forget, hello, yes, that is thanks to the Kieran Hayo-Ketsu scoreboard. And of course, we've got so many great sponsors as well. We'll reel through them all now before we do get back underway. Of course, Filming Footy, Sports Interactive, Classic Clashes, Custom by ORTC, High Five E-Bikes, Startfish, Archies, Jag Meatworks, and Kimberley Resorts. And of course, there is some massive prizes on offer, not only today with the Archies and the Best on Ground, Aussie Team and that kind of thing, but of course we've got the Goal of the Week. That's brought to you by Born to Build, and the Snag of the Year brought to you by Jag Meatworks, and then of course the Mark of the Year brought to you by Mark of the Week, brought to you by Born to Build, and the Mark of the Year, Moonlight Suites by Kimberley Resorts, 3 nights accommodation in Broome, and the High Five E-Bike, of course, for the Player of the Year with the most votes. Adam Jeffries will be all over that for the Stream Team game each and every round. So where will he go with his votes this afternoon? You'll have to stay tuned to the post-game to find out. And we are about to get underway in the third quarter. The siren goes. And it's Port District by 3 to start the second half. Ball comes down to Lyset, nearly able to grab it, and then Gaffney followed him in. Ferns, ball's at his feet, was bouncing and bobbling, and then he was able to grab it. Flicked across Carpeny. Carpeny grabs it and puts it inside forward 50. Everyone swings their head down towards that goal line, and there it is. I think that one's gone through. It's a behind.
Hit the post on the way through. Sam Gray remonstrated with the umpire. Might have a little case. Might have had the arms wrapped around in that marking contest, but good start for Port Districts.
And goes down and out towards the outer side. Here they come, coming back the other way though. Port District, Ramsey obviously let off a bit of a firecracker. As Gray traps it, able to swing the ball back over. Handball, ball sat on its end. Niskahus, he's always dangerous. Gould's there, wrapped up nicely. Thompson made sure he was going absolutely nowhere. So we wait, and we wait again. Ball tracked on that. Outer side in the 50 line there. Turned, Lyset got it out. High, long footy that's going to come down and work out for Carter. And Carter just ended up all by himself protecting the ball drop.
Yeah, we spoke about that early in the game. When those high balls come in, when they're kicking with the breeze, the defender has to take the back shoulder position, and all he had to do was just lean on his opponent, and the ball is always going to carry into his drop zone. And now's the tricky part. He's got to convert for his team.
So Thomas Carter. Miller was originally named, but then removed. So he lines up and salutes. Big goal there to start the third quarter. Port District 5-11. The Rams 4-8-32, and Thomas Carter gets his name on the board.
Yeah, it was well done by Carter. He was just really composed under that high ball. He knew where the ball was gonna land, and he just leant on his opponent, didn't use his hands or anything, just protected the drop, and in the end took an easy chest mark. So the Glenunga defensive coach would be a little bit disappointed with the body positioning of his defender there. Got to get on the back shoulder under those high balls, but a good start and a good shot for goal by Carter.
So 10 points. 5-12 plays 4-8. The Rams, have they run out of steam? They've probably got to get the next one. Port District back in the centre. Lyset gave it across to his running man in Ferns, and he was taken down but still got the ball onto his boot. Ball bouncing and bobbling, and again grabbed nicely there by the player in Jack Scott. And up through Haynes. Redmond, he ended up losing out though. And Nash Haynes sends it back inside forward 50. Tap was pretty clever. And it's going to be a free kick. And it's going to end up going the way there of Dwyer. And Nash Haynes set that up. He's coming off 3 votes last week as well.
Yeah, I've been impressed with Nash Haynes as well.
Yeah.
His skills are really standing out. His beautiful leg inside 50 there to the advantage side of his forward. Didn't take the initial mark, but got the holding free kick in the subsequent ground ball. And again, Port District's looking dangerous.
Harry Dwyer. Kick is online, and they got 2 in a couple of minutes here, Port District. They now move themselves across to 6-12, Rams 4-8, and have potentially Port District fired themselves into action.
Yeah, they have a fast start, haven't they? They've had 3 really good inside 50s. 2 shots for goal that, importantly for them, have gone through. It was a good kick, and we might just have seen the breezes just die down a smidge, allowing that ball drop to hit a nice part of the foot, and they sunk the slipper through that beautifully from about 40 metres out. So a good start for Port Districts. And we've seen Lysette get on top in the ruck here as well. West can't allow him to just grab the ball and boot it forward, so he's got to get some early body on the big fella.
Margin of 10 points. Kieran Hayuketsu scoreboard. Ball goes up again. Lysette, and sort of halfway on the tap out. Ended up with Carpenter anyway. Ball then ends up being taken by Trigarkas. Ball game at 16 points at the minute. Back across.
Which is a tricky time now for Glenunga, isn't it? They've been leading the whole way, but they're now kicking into the breeze, facing a 16-point deficit. So they just need to hang tough here and just somehow scrounge the next goal.
Potentially scrounge the next goal, or even just kind of, well, you can't try and hang on for 3/4 time and get that breeze back. Parsons sends it up. Ball worked out okay. It was a good mark by Opperman. Took it at his feet, and then inside for West. Haynes was there. West threw his hands up in the air trying to claim he was infringed. And in the end, Redmond and Smith ended up getting bowled over, but umpire says, come on, boys, let's stand this one back up. And it's on over there as well. A little bit of feeling in this one.
Might have an injured player down there, actually. Just not sure. No, he's getting up.
It was Haynes who was on the ground, but he seems to be okay. It'd be a big out, but he's going to go again. Back in and around. We'll sit down and it's cleared. Just a long ball, and it's ended up hitting one of the advertisers out there. It's going to come back into play.
It's almost like an NFL punt, wasn't it? He just grabbed it and punted it. But last touch, even if it wasn't on the full, coming back to Glenunga.
Distance will do in that situation. Glenunga then have to work their way forward. Pridham decides to put that one in. Ball falls down. Fay was there. He's got a long lever. Can he kick it from the boundary line as well? DeSera grabbed it, and he missed. 4-9, plays 6-12.
Yeah, it would have been an important goal if he can get it. Like I said, they just need to keep in touch. If they're going to come home with the breeze, Lockie, as long as they're within that sort of 20-point margin, they can come home with a wet sail and win the game. They've just got to hang tough for this next 5 or 10 minutes, Glenunga.
Of course, only 5 minutes gone in this quarter, so you'd assume there's upwards of 20 left. And they seem to be having a little bit of a purple, a couple of moments, even a purple sector here for Glenunga. And they might work its way back out. Lysette. Haynes. Sends it up, and here they go. They've got some space. Gould collects, straightens and has a look at goal. Sends it up towards a one-on-one. Gray was there. Dwyer was dancing, and Dwyer was goaling too. Big goal.
That's the one that Glenunga didn't want to allow, isn't it? They had all the field position, but you can see with the breeze, the ball got out, and it was Dwyer with the finishing snap there again. Gray's looking super dangerous in those marking contests. His opponent's wearing him like an absolute glove. He's going to get a free kick or take one of those contested marks soon, Sam Gray, I feel. But Dwyer, 2 goals in 3 minutes. And what these games need is that game breaker, and he's been the one so far. Well done to Dwyer. Great snap.
It was 7-12, 54. Now plays 4-9, 33, so a margin of 21 points.
Must get a centre clearance here, Glenunga. Give the defenders a bit of a breather. And just, like I said, keep at it. Get that field position. Find the next goal. Grind away.
Ball ends up with West, and they're going to do just that through Redmond. Eli sends it inside forward 50. Ball comes down. Smith fires it back. Pridham snapped a goal, and the wind took it away. Bouncing in that forward pocket. One keys back in on it, and Rose is back in on him, and the ball's gone over the boundary line.
Seeing a lot of the ruckmen grab it out of the ruck at the moment, aren't we? We've seen Lysette do it, and we've seen West do it at that last centre bounce. The key tactic at the moment with the domination if the second ruck's against them.
Comes back down. Lysette slapped it out. Only his father was the waiting player. Almost collected by Niskahus. Fired forward, rolling towards the forward pocket there, and Smith grabbed the footy but ran out of room. Footy's going to come back into play. It's going to be with Gould. It's Benjamin variety. He loads a footy out towards the exit point of the 50. Did well then, did Gray. Gray just a little soccer. Rose was nearly back on it. And still they try and charge their way through. Ferns, he's got a bit of an issue. Plenty asking for holding the ball, and the umpire gave it in the end. It's going to go the way of Jack Scott. So Scott gives the hand pass off. And Temi decides to unload a high ball that comes down. Smith out towards the outer side, still with Smith. Smith, he's the excitement machine. It's dribbling, and the whistle went.
It's a free kick coming back, is it?
It looks like it is going to go the way here of Faye, and the distance certainly won't be the issue. It'll be all about accuracy.
He does have a thumping kick, still kicking into that sort of 2 or 3 goal breeze, so this will give us a bit of a guide as to how that breeze is going.
Let's see if you can drag that margin back to 15. Decides against that, drills the ball in, and finds one key hanging all by himself. That's loose checking from Port District.
He's deep in the pocket though, but he is capable of maybe kicking a chanana here. Can we call it that? The check side banana, a chanana from one key in the pocket, or will he go the drop punt and try and push it in with the breeze?
One key. Lines it up. Kicks for home. It's on its way. It's across the face. Parsons is there, and that one's going to go over and out. It's going to be...
So we spoke about taking chances, Lockie, didn't we? Both teams have had 5 inside 50s this quarter, but 3 goals to Port Districts and nothing so far for Glenunga. So that's the game at the moment.
Everyone's circulating around the footy. It ended up being thrown back in, and Port Districts got to it first. Clearing ball. And towards Brooks. What can he do? He's got 3 to deal with. Loses out in the end, Ferns, but he had reinforcements arrive, did Brooks. Back on it again here at Glenunga. Ball then slapped forward. It bounces. It works out okay. Losing his footing pretty quickly then. And Rose, did he have possession? It's going to sit, and no one's able to take it over in the end. Umpire says, I'll throw it back in. So... one's still got plenty of excitement around it. Toss back in. Lysette. Tried to fire it back out. Rose. And the umpire says that one's going to be mine. Rucks re-engaged. Battle back on. And we end up going nowhere again. Contested footy seemed to be the order of the day. It's back again at the 11-minute mark of the third quarter. Margin at 21 points.
It's almost like a wet weather game, Lockie, isn't it, with the amount of stoppages?
Yeah, it is.
A lot of numbers around the ball. Hand in there again. We'll have another ball up.
Yeah, it's been a good game of footy. There's a bit of feeling out there now. Spot fire's just starting to ignite.
Haven't seen a lot of that so far today, have we? It's been obviously both fair teams. No real spot fires around the ground at this stage.
Ball comes back down to earth. Try and charge their way out. Umpire said that one is going to be a free kick, and it is going to end up going the way here.
And that's what happens a lot of the time, Lockie. We saw 5 and 6 repeat ball ups in a row. At some stage, the umpire's going to blow the whistle. You just got to get in front and make sure it's yours.
It's Michaelani who set it up. Ball comes down. And that one is going to be a ball up. Just a little interesting fact I was told by the team manager on Michaelani. Was supposed to be in the 40, did have the 40 with him, lost it and had to move to the 38. So, just something to keep in mind. So the footy gets...
Hopefully he can find that Guernsey during the week.
Well, hopefully. If not, there's going to be a kid that gets out of here with the free Guernsey that's got the 40 on the back. Rose. And clears it. Bouncing ball. And, oh, that was clever. Scott tried to take on one, got past Rose, but didn't win out. And Niskahus made sure of that. Ball goes back inside forward 50. It's a little dribbler. Dwyer then flicks it out. Deinhoff left that behind. Turning one way, then the other is Carlo Vasitas. Got it straightened up. And Faye, did Rose get infringed? He did. And he is very, very jumpy as he gets back to his feet.
Yeah, Rose very sore there. Might have rolled an ankle on the way through. I thought Faye was a little bit unlucky. It was potentially good body use.
Had to give it back to Haynes, and Rose is still down. We'll keep you updated with the latest there as Dwyer turns and snaps towards the line, and it's goalkeeping. And it's really, really nice from Temi to stop that one from going through.
Dwyer is looking like a real wild card inside 50, isn't he, for Port Districts? Every time the ball's in his area, it just looks like something creative is going to happen. He's a tricky matchup.
And Pridham ends up with the footy, turns and flicks it back across. Finds Fredgarkis, and I tell you what, Rose looks really uncomfortable on the footage that's coming through to us here. Carlo Vasitas, meantime, clears the defensive line, and that one's going to go over and out.
Looked like the Glenunga player was almost chipping the ball to the umpire then on inside. Just a little bit in the way there, but Glenunga with another turnover. They're going to have to defend again, and as Port District's taking ground backwards, we'll look to switch the ball to this commentary box side, find some space.
Got to do that. Ended up in the hands here of Kilpatrick. He decides to go up the line and through hands here. Ball bounced past Michaelani. He's going to get it at the back here. Well, was there potential infringement? Umpire said there was. And a lot of work being done. Niskus comes to the bench now in the hands of the trainers. So potentially a couple that are down. Niskus acting captain today while Sharon's out. So potential concerns here. Carter, meantime, takes a great grab. Up the line. Floater inside forward 50, and Michaelani was waiting back. Able to do the job. Thomas Michaelani. Of course, everyone aware of Max doing some great things at the Crows. Jack who... Oh, big fly! Oh, no one able to keep it down, though. That was an absolute ginormous effort.
I think because the ball just hung into the breeze, didn't it? He thought he initially timed the leap, but the ball just hung in the air that little bit longer, and he probably went a little bit early.
Well, we'll have to have another look at that on the dartfish, because tell you what, he had an absolute screaming attempt there. Back, big fist, Monty Statch. Then nearly picked up, socket clear, bouncing. Here goes Davis, gives it across. Footy inside from Agar, and that's not going to quite work out. Nearly for West. Interception, great grab. And Faye, you can do it all. Kick long balls and take a great grab there as well. Davis kicks it inside forward 50. Ball bouncing and getting towards the line. Haynes, and just ran out of room there, did Nash.
Again, they're pressing here, aren't they, Glenunga? Just need to kick the next goal.
Yeah, have a look at that on the replay. Absolutely great.
This is the early leap.
Yeah. Oh, Carter, he got up, absolutely. It would have been a screamer, but the wind stopped that one. Ball collected. Michaelani just sent it up into orbit. Oh, coming through. It's an absolute ripping grab, and it's been paid as well. So Parsons gets rewarded.
It's a magnificent attack on the football by Parsons. I think the Port District defenders claiming that they may have both had hands on that at the same time, but he wanted that ball, Parsons, and he just launched that. It's a fantastic mark.
He's going to get rewarded for his intent. Can he reward his teammates as well?
He won't be able to kick a goal from here, I don't think, Lockie. He's got to look for a short pass or get the ball to about that 20-metre mark directly out in front of goal.
Well, he's acting like he's going back to have a go here. It wouldn't surprise me if he pulled the kick, as you're saying there, Adam. Kick's on its way. It's gone all the way. Oh, don't down him, but it's a behind. Lyset. And it had to be the tallest man on the ground that was back there stopping that one.
He just needed another half metre on that kick, didn't he? And it was going to sail through. So just pressing Glenunga, but can't get that goal they need.
Well, they're pushing all the right buttons. They're just failing at the combinations. And a great grab there as well. Michaelani did well. Out of his position, Davis. Oh, ball spilled. It's going to start to open the door for Port Districts to come back the other way. Ignored. Trying to work their way through then again is Glenunga. And Abe Davis is back down. Footy inside forward 50 from Scott. Needs a flyer. Ball at the back. Opperman, he's there. Can he pick it up? Unable to. Had help from Parsons. Parsons turned and snapped. And that one not as good as his last effort.
You have to say that Abe Davis is certainly playing under duress today. His team needs him out there, but unfortunately, he's not able to have his usual impact, that's for sure. So let's hope the big fella's all right. He's gritting his teeth and pushing through it. Good on him, but maybe the Glenunga coaching staff will, at some stage in the last quarter, if they can't fight back, look at wrapping him up.
He is an absolute talented player. There is no doubt about that. Going out forward, another one that spent some time in the AFL. Davis is there again, and he is in all sorts of pain. Discomfort all over his face. Someone's going to be thrown back up.
So where are we at, Lockie? We are
18 minutes
Yeah,
in.
so there's not going to be a long quarter again. It's only 21 points of difference. If Glenunga can find a goal before three-quarter time, breeze it their back in the last, this game is not over.
And momentum as well if they did get that goal.
They're pressing here. They've had a lot of field position on that half-forward flank for the last few minutes, but haven't been able to find that goal. So they just need to keep pressing. If they get that margin under 20 points, they'll be feeling pretty happy.
Well, they'll feel like they're due a reward as well for the amount of effort they've put in. He's about to come back in. Davis doing some ruck work against Lysette. Then works its way towards Kilpatrick, and here they go. A kick from Gould that's intercepted. Scott was waiting. He took a great grab. Scott then turns and decides to chew off the 45-metre pass to Temmie. Temmie, and do they look to do the switch? It was almost forbidden under Grimer. And Jeffries, of course, you missed that discussion in the second quarter. Do go back and listen. It was very insightful. Ball goes back down the line. And that comes down for Michael Annie. Here we go, inside forward 50, a hooking kick. And it's worked out. A great grab, Wonky going back.
That's a great mark by Wonky. He's known as a good contested mark. Normally competes really, really well, creates some soft ball drops for his small forwards. What his team desperately needs, though, Lockie, is a straight kick. And he normally has a nice, neat ball drop, kicks through the football.
Massive kick in the context of the game. Here we go. Online from Wonky. The umpire was moving and moving, but he's got it. He snuck it home. And that on the brink of three-quarter time is a massive goal.
Yeah,
15.
Good goal for Glenunga. Like I said, they just had to keep it under 20 points. So now they need to hold firm. They need a centre clearance here, put Port Districts back under pressure. Like I said, they will come home with the breeze in the last quarter. That's a really important contested mark by Wonky, but more importantly, just managed to wobble one through the big sticks that his team desperately needed. It's well done to him. 15-point ball game. They're just not going away, Glenunga, are they? When we thought when Port Districts kicked 3 quick goals early in this quarter, they're probably 1 goal away from really breaking it open. It hasn't happened. They've held firm, got the next one, game on.
Here we go. Ball back in the centre. A ball game of just 15 points. No one wanted to come at Agar to stop him. He decided he just won Pridham. And Pridham then unloads up towards full forward. Who's going to get there? Was there a free kick?
That should be, looked like, was it Wonky again?
No, Opperman.
No, it was Opperman. Looked like he was potentially dragged down there. A little bit disappointed. Would have been a big play. Getting the margin back to 9 points. The umpire's blown his whistle here. What do we got?
Free kick. There's potentially... Looks like it's going to be a free kick going the way of Glenunga. And Glenunga have won themselves a shot at goal to drag the margin back under 10.
Can I say this, Lockie? Potentially a square up for not having the pull down in the marking contest there. We'll have to get a replay and see what that was for. But well done to Glenunga. They got the centre clearance they wanted, and if he kicks accurately here, it's only a 9-point ball game.
Well, there is some blood as well. And it's coming on the forehead there of Wonky, so he's going to come off. They lose a focal point in the attack for the 2 to 3 minutes it's going to take to clean that up, assuming he's okay to continue. But Thomas Michaelani's going to have a kick at goal.
Normally a defender. He's found himself with a very important shot on goal for his team.
Well, him, Max, and Jack, all defenders. Of course, a very, very famous name. The Michaelani name in South Australia. Kick on its way, and they have cut the margin to back under 10 points. You cannot write this, Glenunga. A seesawing contest continues.
Yeah, well done by Michael Annie. We're not sure what the free kick was for, but it's irrelevant. Goes down in the book as a goal to Michael Annie. And like I said, they deserve it, Glenunga, because they've been pressing for about 10 to 15 minutes. Kept noting the game was in a bit of a lull, wasn't it? They couldn't score and the margin was 21 points and Port Districts looked in control, but 2 quick goals. Now this is an important centre bounce, and we do stress again that Glenunga will come home with the breeze at their back. So this game is far from over, Lockie.
Who would you rather be, Adam?
Still rather be Port Districts. You always want to be in front in these low-scoring games, but yeah, Glenunga will be pretty happy with where they're at. They'll want to hold on, and if they can keep this margin at 9 points, siren about 2 minutes away.
Here we go. Of course, Port District's women's game is going to be taking centre stage after this one as well. Ball then goes inside forward 50. And that one's going to go over the line. So plenty more action to keep you occupied for your night around the Adelaide Footy League, especially those that have come in here to Country Homes Living Reserves and are loving the action. All about to be tossed back in. It's down the Port District forward end. They hold a slender 9-point lead. Thrown back in. Ball's going to work out. Dwyer, he's been dangerous this quarter. It's certainly been his quarter. Flicked on, Gould's there, tracked against the boundary line, and DeSera made sure he had nowhere to go. He's going to be thrown back in. Boundary umpire, central umpire. Basically, all the umpires been very busy today trying to separate these boys with some stoppages. Abe Davis comes charging through. He fires it across towards Faye. And that one is going to be thrown back up.
So these are the important ones, Lockie, where you get 3-4 stoppages in a row. The umpires get itchy trigger fingers. So if you're Glenunga, you've got to get your tackles in low. Don't give one away here late in the quarter.
And standing up in the tackle there is Ferns. He's got half the Glenunga team just about hanging off of him. Bay towards the line. Haynes and Bayun, and that one's going to go up.
So nearly 25 minutes gone. So again, it won't be a long quarter. So it could probably be under a minute to go here. Glenunga will be desperate to keep this margin at 9 points going into the last change.
Shot over Jack Gaffney there on the bench. Then rolls back across. Ferns kicks a goal. That is a knife into the heart of Glenunga.
Still a lot of time to go, but that's exactly what Glenunga did not want. Like I said, we've got under a minute to go. We think it's short quarters with the low-scoring nature of this game. And a player like Fern's just able to run on goal side. I'm sure that'll come up in the coach's review during the week. Ball bobbled out the back. He's a big man, Ferns. Once he gets the ball in his hands, he's a pretty hard man to stop, isn't he? So that's, I dare say, a pretty important goal. Like I said, still a long way to go in this game. 15 points, breeze at their back in the last quarter, Glenunga, but they'll be mightily disappointed that they let that one happen.
8-13, 61 plays 6-10, 46. That's on the Kieran Hayoketsu scoreboard, of course. Lovely drop. Did you end up having any, Adam?
No, I was seeing it everywhere, the Kieran Hayoketsu, though. They're doing very well for themselves out in the marketplace. Good on them.
Absolutely they are. It's all over. That's a great mark as well from Haynes. I was going to say it's all over the gully as well. We filmed the first 4 weeks between the posts. Ball goes up. And coming down, a long high kick. Circulating in the wind, and that one's just a big fist there from Haynes. Back on it as well. Well done.
Good umpiring there, no prior. Again, there can't be long to go in this quarter, so Glenunga, we said a minute ago they couldn't allow a late goal. They must lock on goal side, try and create a +1 behind the football if they can.
Lysette wins it out, fires the ball back across. Long high footy, Temi, well done.
That's a fantastic mark by Temi. Ball hits the ground there, anything can happen. I think we know there's not going long here. They're just going to want numbers up the line, contest, and hopefully get the ball out of play. And he's gone the old soccer style cramping, just running a few seconds down.
The old ref, please. I need a couple moments. Temi out. And that one's come down. They should collect it. Fired back. Pridham.
Got the downfield free here, Glenunga. Is there time for them to get one back?
Parsons unloads. Needs a mark from Smith. Isn't able to get one. Ball hits the deck. Plenty arrive on this one. And it's going to be tackled Rose. ends up with the footy, and the umpire says we are all out of time in the third quarter. It is 8-13-61, play 6-10-46. It hasn't been a highly accurate game of footy, but it has been a good one. It exploded in the premiership quarter. It's Port District by 15 points.
Get a quick and easy low-rate car loan from Police Credit Union today.
New 氷結 Vodka, soda, and frozen natural fruit juice. Hello, yes.
We've been housemates for, what, nearly 4 years?
Yep. Basically, since I started my uni degree and you got your apprenticeship.
It's been really good. Like, it's the little things, you know? Like, one of us is always around to house it when the other goes on holiday. And one of us is always ready to help the other out of jam.
I don't know. Yeah, happen again. It's usually me. My HECS debt doesn't leave a lot of room for holidays or working transportation or food. But it's worth all the debt, right?
No.
But what about your debt?
Debt isn't a problem for me. I get paid to learn.
You belong in blue. Apply for a career with South Australia Police.
Here we are, massive final quarter of football coming up. It was just the 15 points at three-quarter time. What can we expect in the final quarter of this one? It's been a highly entertaining game. Glenunga are trailing currently. Port District's the home team, the informed team, holding a 15-point advantage, as we just said. But they've got the wind at the back of their rams, and there's Ethan Smith getting a little bit of work done there. So he's just given James Moody on the camera the thumbs up, so it should be okay.
Yeah, they won't want to lose him. He's been an animal inside 50 today. But it's still game on here, Lockie. Like I said, the game was meandering on a little bit. It has been a good game of footy. It's been tricky conditions for the people at home. It's been very windy. It's been a very contested, sort of slow-moving game where it's been about contest, field position, contest, field position. Port Districts came out the blocks in that third quarter, didn't they? 3 quick goals and really took the ascendancy. Then Glenunga found something, kicked 2 quick ones themselves late in the quarter. They'll still be ruining. I know they've got to move on from it, but when they do the review during the week, they'll be ruining that Ferns goal late because it could have been a 9-point margin and almost would have been there. They would have been favourites going into this last quarter. But I look at it now as if I'm Port Districts, you've got to keep playing. If they score 2 goals, I think they'll win. So they've got to find 2 good passages of play to score 2 goals. That'll make Glenunga have to kick 5 in the last when they've only kicked 6 all day. So let's see what happens here. The breeze is probably worth a couple of goals. It's not as strong as it was early in the match. So it's still game on. I'd probably still rather be Port Districts at this stage, but Glenunga not without hope. They need the first goal early, Lockie, and that'll give them a lot of belief.
Yeah, absolutely they do. If they get that first goal, they can start to sort of believe and start to sort of wonder maybe they can end up with win number 2 in 2025. The Port District, they are just ticking along as well. A massive game coming up in the divisions of Women's 3 after this. The third division of the women's footy there, brought to you by 9 News. It's going to be Port District taking on Mitcham.
Good to see twilight footy under lights for the ladies. Should be it's a good crowd here, isn't there? You can see why when you bring in the C's, B's and A's in the men's and then the women's game as well. Plenty of people here at Largs to watch this game of football. Wonder what they're going to do here. Just looking for where Abe Davis. I'd be tempted. You need a match winner. You need a hero in these circumstances. He's a guy who we know what a champion player he is, but he's obviously playing a bit hurt. He hasn't really had an impact on this game today, but can he kick 2 last quarter goals and win the game for his team? Be interesting to see what role he plays. They do have some guys that can bob up, but Davis is the type of guy that can kick 3 goals in a quarter.
Well, it's been interesting. A name that was synonymous with votes last year. I went through and I calculated all the votes on Saturday night so far that have gone. Obviously, I can't say who's winning and that kind of thing. But what I can tell you is that Abe Davis did not feature in the votes at all.
No, so like I said, he's playing a different role this year so far. He had obviously not a big pre-season, coming off injuries over the summer. And he's just finding his feet in the competition at the moment. But, you know, I wouldn't rule him out from doing something here as well. Let's see what happens. See if Glenunga can kick the first goal early and make it a real hot contest.
Ball comes down, Lysette. He won the ruck tap. And Carpenter, he was...
Fantastic tackle by Pridham.
It was as well. Pridham wasn't rewarded by the umpire, but certainly stopped any momentum Port District could get. Back we go again. Stoppage footy. And that is going to be balled straight back up in the air. Umpire looking to twirl it skyward. Few conditions. There were threats of rain earlier in the week, but it didn't quite happen. And the footy cleared out. Haynes collects it at halfback, turning and twisting and able to fire it back towards Denton. And gives it across towards Joey Haynes. Of course, Joey and Nash out there, and he's wrapped up as well. Tackle laid by Thompson.
Thought the umpire may have considered holding the ball there, or he has paid it, has he?
Nope, going to be thrown up. Ball goes up. And umpire says we will throw that one. No one able to break out the stoppage at the minute. Fade does just that, turns and puts it inside forward 50. Haynes stopped, and did he lose it? He did, holding the ball. Bobbled out in the contest.
That is a hot free kick for mine. Not a lot of remonstration from Haynes, but yeah, it looked like that was a really quick whistle. But what Glenunga need to do, they don't care how it's come their way. Parsons with the ball is normally a pretty neat set shot. He needs to drill this through and give his team a fair bit of belief.
Yeah, he really does, Parsons. Desperately, this one is needed. So everyone draws a collective breath. Cut the margin back under 10 points. Kick is on its way towards the goal square. They're going to need a mark. No, it's there. It is there. And Parsons starts the last in some kind of form.
Yeah, great set shot for goal from Parsons. Looked like it was going to drift across the face, didn't it? But it just swung back late on the breeze and just had enough carry. So, yeah, maybe a lucky free kick, a hot holding the ball decision, but Glenunga don't care about that. I said at the three-quarter time break, they needed to kick the first goal early to give themselves some belief, and you can see the energy down on their bench, Lockie. They believe they can win this game of football. Finally,
Glenunga will think, finally. They haven't won a game of footy since round 2, and there were shots for Ross Trevor to win that game. Transfer had an opportunity. Wakeland had an opportunity just about after the siren. But in the end, it was Glenunga by a point, and they desperately need to get a win on the board if they're to stay in touch with the top 5. Of course, top 5 do end up playing finals. Redmond, he's wrapped up. And Gray made sure he wasn't going anywhere. Gingerly back to his feet, and the umpire said, no, we can't play with Eli being down like that. But Eli Redmond gets back to his feet. Well, comes back down. And Footy works its way forward. Bouncing ball. Fired back out. Kick. Cut off. Off the impossible, almost. It wasn't quite to be there. A behind for Miller Carter, and they nearly fired back. Wasn't able to. A 10-point ball game. 8-14 plays 7-10. Kieran Hayuketsu scoreboard, of course. A great drop. They're out at all great pubs. Few flying. No one able to quite take a mark. Fired back. And with Carpeney.
Carpeney's normally got a little laser left foot kick. So he'll be hoping to just find a little target inside 50 here if he can. He's got a lead in the pocket.
Fires it up, and that one is going to be a free kick, and it's going to go the way
Tough for the defender there. Is a little sneaky over the shoulder. It was such a good kick by Carpeney. And this is Dwyer, is it? Who's been...
Yeah, he's been incredible, Harry Dwyer, so far.
He's a sneaky matchup. He's super fast. He's a good mark for his size. He's a great snap on goal. Let's see what he's got with the set shot into the breeze.
We'll just make a quick note as well. The club staff come and drop us off some drinks, so a massive thank you for them as well. Footy in the hands of Dwyer. Dwyer kick on its way, and that's across the face. So margin back out towards 11.
And they won't get lots of opportunities, will they? Ball in hand, set shot into the breeze. So whilst it's a tricky shot, they're going to have to nail a couple of them, Port Districts. Glenunga have got a couple goals left in them. Can Port Districts respond?
Of course. Position A1 still with Port District on the scoreboard. Kicking high Footy, and that one's going to come back down. Fired back across. Michaelani turns, gets it forward, and that one ends up in the hands of Gaffney. Gaffney then flicks it back across. Finds Moddy Statch. Moddy Statch. And finds Rose. So they've completed the switch, Port District. Rose traces the kick towards the player in Hawkins. Roden variety. Hawkins inside forward 50, bit of a one-on-one jostle on the boundary line there. In the end, it ends up going over and out, and that should be last touch. No, thrown back in. Must have been some contact on the way through.
They won't mind that though, Port Districts. They get a ball up, set up behind the ball, try and get some field position. Lysett in the ruck, but the third man up.
Well, Michaelani almost just kind of took that out of the ruck, but I think slipped or potentially got some contact from somewhere. Umpire says we'll throw it up. Abe Davis, Scott Lysett. Scott Lysett just wins it out. Puts it towards Ferns, but Temmie had half a step on him and took the mark in the end.
So a couple of good marks today, Temmie, hasn't he? He's been pretty solid in defence.
What can he do? Sides just load a high ball towards the exit of the defensive 50. Michaelani ended up somehow unopposed, took a great mark. Flicked it on. That one is going to be thrown back and it's going to end up in the hands here of the debutant in Denton.
Yeah, started the game at full forward, didn't he? Now playing in a defensive post for his team. So he's obviously a versatile player.
Gaffney found Gould and potentially there's some overlap run here. No.
Not keen to go too fast, are they, Port Districts? I thought he might have wheeled and gone then, but just looking for a methodical build-up, getting numbers to where he's going to kick the ball here.
Ball out and punched away. Bayun is pretty quickly wrapped up.
Little stalemate here, isn't it? You know, next goal's so critical. If Port Districts get it, it'll be hard for Glenunga, but again, if Glenunga get it, she'll be game on. So real arm wrestle happening here.
Redmond somehow got it out of the pack, but oh no. Kilpatrick had the footy touched as he tried to kick it. There was a smother there. Gaffney fired it back. Rose, Haynes. Haynes is a long lever of a right foot. Bouncing ball towards Dwyer. That one's going to go over and out.
That's the umpire paid here. We've got a free kick for Glenunga. Coming back to Pridham, I think it is. A little one over the shoulder.
Good player, Pridham. Goes about his role.
He's a tough little nut, isn't he? He's always in and under the packs. A little bit scrubby by foot on occasion. Does kick the ball up in the air, but gets some distance for his team here.
That's exactly what they need. They need distance and they need goals. Ball then falls down, and that one's going to go over and out. Thompson was the kicker.
So the game hasn't changed too much, has it? There's a lot of contests. There's a lot of numbers around the ball. There's no real free-flowing football happening. So it's a genuine arm wrestle here. 11-point ball game.
Last quarter ticking and ticking on. Pridham, he was waiting. Managed to just kind of get it inside forward 50. A drilling ball and diving straight across the take. A slips catch almost. Or was it Gaffney?
Been pretty good today again, Gaffney. He's good every week, isn't he? But we've seen him make just the one error by foot. But his foot skills in the windy day have been pretty good. And plenty of intercept marks as well.
He's been there when his team needs him to. He didn't quite have the impact that he had grand final day potentially, but he's been just as important almost. There's a great mark from Carter. He then flicks it on towards Hawkins. Hawkins. Oh, Carlo Vasitas probably should have taken that one. And that one's going to be a ball up.
Quick transition there by Port Districts. Now Glenunga are under pressure. They must lock on. Can't allow anything over the back.
We'll toss back up. That one's going to go over and out again in the forward pocket. Ball up, stoppage. Ball up, stoppage. It's been the order of the day. It's still the order at the 9.5-minute mark of the last quarter. A game for the real tactician. Get your chessboards out, ladies and gentlemen. It's been one of those kind of games. And that is going to be a free kick towards Lyset.
Ruck infringement, which, dare I say it, Lockie, is a coach killer sometimes. He's always likely to draw it, though, isn't he? Because he's such a big frame and everyone's worried about him grabbing the ball in those instances. Hasn't quite as much of the ball in the second half. He had a fair bit of possession in the first half, didn't he, Lockie, big fella? Lining up for his second goal.
What can Lyset do? A champion of the game of Australian rules football, not only here but over in Western Australia too. Kick is on its way, shaping nicely, but across the face.
Again, Port Districts will want to get a goal from this domination because we've seen this happen all day. One team will have 10 minutes of field position, then the next team will have their turn. As we see, Pridham's had a lot of disposals late in this game, hasn't he? Taking the kick out there. Glenunga will get their turn soon, so Port Districts will need to score soon.
Over the boundary line it goes. 12 points, 10 minutes gone, nearly 11. And still we wait. We wait to find out who's going to be the hero. We wait to see if there is a hero. Comes down, Davis. Little soccer along the ground, picked up there, Redmond. Fired towards Gould. Gould then just puts it inside forward 50. Carpeny potentially had an opportunity. Ball fell away from him though. That one's going to be a ball up.
Just struggling to clear the ball again, aren't they, Glenunga? So Port Districts with field position.
Big punch. Almost cleared and still. We circle and we circle. A blanket could be thrown over about 15 players down here. Furthest player back from this stoppage is Modistach and West. And they're about halfway on the centre line. Here we go. Got to the outside of the pack, but Treckle's over and out.
And another ball up.
Yep. Stoppage after stoppage after stoppage. The midfielders, they'll wake up sore tomorrow. They'll probably wake up sore Monday too.
Umpire might have a itchy trigger finger soon. Who gets first to the ball?
Just came from Dwyer, and Dwyer's kick. Bounce back. No, it might still work out. Fired out Rose. Dwyer was waiting again, and that one fired wide. Hands on the head. Potentially an opportunity.
He'd be disappointed he didn't nail that to Dwyer, but like I said, I've been super impressed with him in the second half. He is a dangerous forward. He's a bit of a headache matchup for the opposition because of his ground level play, but also his aerial play as well.
Yeah, he's a good footballer, Harry Dwyer. Ball back on the last line of defence for Glenunga, exactly where they don't need it. Long kick from Trugarkis. At the back, Kilpatrick was waiting, then he fired it across towards Gould. Gould then snapped it inside forward 50. Here goes Gaffney. Gaffney puts it out towards the lead. Dwyer, no, not quite for him. Again, a long booming kick out from Glenunga. Carpeny was waiting back, almost like he was the receiver in an NFL game. Kick goes inside and over the head of just about everybody from Ferns. And
another behind. So they are chewing up some minutes here, aren't they, Port Districts? If they kick the next goal from here, might almost call it a sealer. But until they do, Glenunga is still in this game. They need to kick 3 goals to win it.
So that scoreboard, even though they are just getting the minor scores at the minute, it is continuing to stretch the lead, obviously, by 1 point, and that's what's led it. Because the last time Glenunga got a score, it was a goal, and it got the lead down to 9. It's now up at 14.
Are they prepared to take a risk, Glenunga? We saw them not being able to do it last year when they were a couple of goals down in the grand final. Didn't take the kick out the guts. Maybe they feel it's a bit too early.
Potentially still, you'd say around about at least 10 minutes left in this contest. And Abe Davis is wrapped up by Carpeney. Also about to be thrown back up in the centre of the ground. Umpire begins the game again. Gray on the outside. He's got a couple to deal with. One of them is Carlo Vasitas. He goes in. Sarah was the other, and he goes in on Rose. Then it goes back towards Gray. Gray puts it inside forward 50. Footy inside for Dwyer. Dwyer bouncing and missing. So,
again, Dwyer with the football inside 50, isn't he? He just keeps getting it. He's had a couple of snaps on top of those 2 quick goals he kicked. He's had 3 or 4 other snaps at goal in this second half. He just needs one more to win the game for his team. Gaffney again.
What a take that was as well. He almost slipped, realised the Footy was behind him, and then turned and took that intercept mark as well.
Big switch of play.
It's a big ball. And towards Haynes. Another one's had a pretty good day. Nash, he's got his namesake Joey there as well, although they are spelt different. Deinhoff. And turns back for Rose, and Rose has got it on the outer side.
Tricky kick for goal there, but great foot skills shown there by Port Districts. They switched the ball from one end of the ground to the other. Is it Rose? Is it with the ball?
Well, he was almost looking like he was going to give it off towards Haynes, and we've seen that so many times at Sandful level, and he's circling back again, Haynes. Maybe telling us something around Matty Rose not having the distance. Kicks on its way. Dangerous in the goal square here, but it's going to go over.
And still, they can't get that ceiling goal, can they, Port Districts? They just need to kick one, and it'll be a little bit too far. 8 goals, 19, if that's correct. They're going to go up the guts now, are they? Glenunga take a bit of a risk? No, they're still going slightly wide.
Maybe 8 goals, 20, because I'm just having a look at the other scoreboard as well. So, Footy fired back in, collected. Dwyer then misses.
Another shot on goal for Dwyer. He's had, like I said, I didn't see his stats during the week, Lockie, but he's had a lot of pings at goal in this second half. But they are still in this Glenunga. I'm surprised. This is probably the knock on them last year. When at this point, you need to clear the ball, so they need to look at getting some numbers in the middle of the ground.
8 goals.
Continually go wide, and it's hard to clear the ball.
They do indeed. 8 goals, 20, 68, plays 7, 10, 52. That's the official score. Margin is 16 points. Footy about to come back in. And over the head of its intended target in Pridham. Then collected at the back. Haynes. And fires it back, and that's a pretty good mark in the end for Thompson. He then flicks it across. And they continue to find links in the chain here. Carlo Vasitas. He takes it and turns, and here he is away. One bounce. Inside forward 50 goes the speedster. Abe Davis at the back has the Footy punched away from him. That was important then from Moddy Thatch to stop that.
He'll be happy to have a stoppage here, though, rather than a rush behind. So they get another crack at it.
16 points.
Must get a goal soon, Lockie, for mine, if they're going to win this game.
Yeah, it's just starting to eke away, isn't it? Footy fired back in. Rolling. Gaffney. Ferns. Back again. Then the long high clearing kick. That is going to work out okay for West. West an important intercept mark to get it started again. What can the big ruckman do? Get up against Lyset all day. Big fist, and that one's working towards the boundary line. It does just that there, Adam Jeffries.
Yeah, probably again being super critical. I'm not sure that's the spot that they wanted to go. Not putting the Port District defence. I know there's a lot of numbers at the top of the square, but they really need to get the ball into a dangerous area. Give a player like Davis a chance. Gabe Alpin and Parsons no chance on that occasion.
Ball fired back and trying to twist and turn. Parsons. Ball works its way forward again. Haynes picks it up. Just a long high clearing kick. Great mark, Deinhoff.
That's a really good mark by Deinhoff. That might have looked easy, but he got the jukes out. Great relieving mark for his team.
Deinhoff. Haynes. Dwyer. Sorry, Gaffney. My apologies. So used to calling Dwyer this quarter. This half, really. And then flicked up. Gaffney got it back. Side forward 50 it goes. Ferns. Ferns then turning and twisting, and that one's going to go over and out.
Good tackle there because he had numbers around him there, Ferns, to get the handball out. But again, I feel like Glenunga needed to score from that last entry. Lockie, they need 3 goals. We're nearly at 20 minutes. Not over yet, but they'll want to kick a goal in the next 60 seconds.
Yes, they will. Won 15 goals, 30 for the team, so half the scores today have been behind. Dwyer gets it inside forward 50. A bouncing ball. Is this the sealer? Is this the moment for Port District? Ball fired back towards Dwyer. Carter's there trying to work it away. Got a little bit of a socket out of the way of Pridham and wrapped up his Lysette nearly. A little bit of argy-bargy between the two. Free kick did go the way of Pridham for a kicking in danger there. It was Carter who infringed.
He's had a lot of the ball, Pridham, in this second half, hasn't he? We've called his name a lot. They've taken a chance up the guts here, Glenunga.
Here we go, big fist. Down it comes. Denton fired it back across. Haynes inside forward 50. Kick favoured the Glenunga defender. And in the end, Tregarkis took a great grab. And now we wait again.
Switch of play. This is what you want to see from Glenunga. You've got to take a little bit of a risk here.
They might just go straight into the centre of the ground. It's going to have to work out. Ayun was going to fly, but in the end he had to stop. And Ferns emerged with the football. Ball, Karlova seats it over.
Can Glenunga kick 3 goals, Lockie?
Well, that's the question. That's the $1 million question. 21 minutes gone. Time is ticking. They've only kicked 7 goals for the day. Lysette slipped over, gave it across to Dinoff. Dinoff came sprinting through. Bouncing ball over the head of everybody. Important from Temi. Nearly got ducked and out towards Faye. And now the clearing ball out towards the wing. Smith was there. Did he win himself a free kick? No. Going the way there of his opponent instead in Gaffney. Gaffney, Haynes have had to work hard, Port District. Moddy Statch. Moddy Statch back to Gaffney. Gaffney fires it back across towards Haynes. Haynes managed to sell a little bit of candy. And the kick was intercepted. Back again, but a great mark taken. Young man on debut, Kilpatrick. That's an important mark for him. It's an important mark for his team as well. Still they fire, still they fight. Niskahus, he was involved then, wasn't able to trap the ball. Towards the boundary line it goes. Over the boundary line it goes. And Gray trying to claim it was a last touch. Umpire not having a bar of that. Got to admire the dedication there to try and win the ball.
Always talking to the umpires. Why not?
Though I have seen, in the history of me watching football, I've never seen an umpire overturn their decision. Hasn't been done. First player that does it has a career as a lawyer outside of this. Footy goes over the line. So, can the Rams do something incredible? It would have to be Glenunga doing something.
They've defended really well, though, haven't they, Port Districts? Remember, Glenunga scored that goal through Parsons really early in this last quarter, but since that moment, haven't looked likely at all. So they've deserved it. They've obviously had a lot more scoring shots, haven't they, Lockie? But they've had to defend. Glenunga have played some pretty good footy at times. It's the type of game we thought it was going to be. We thought with the conditions and the desperation of Glenunga it would be a low-scoring scrap. It's proven that, but Port Districts deserve the lead they've got at this stage.
They do indeed. High kick. Inside forward 50 it sits. This could work out. Turning from Bayun. Carpany. Marked. And they're pressing here, Port District, for that final knockout blow. They might just get it here because it's a mark, a diving attempt, and Gray might be the one that kicks it. 24 minutes gone nearly in this contest. There definitely will be after he's kicked this ball. So Sam Gray to sniff out any hope of the Glenunga revival. Let's see what he can do. Margin of 16 points would go out past 20 if he kicks it. Sam Gray misses and across the face. Carter flew at the footy. Parsons down. And Parsons ends up winning the footy, but it's a little bit of a high circulating football. No one able to quite get their hands on it. Spinning and turning there, dying off. Still fire. Oh, sorry, that was Haynes. And that one is going to be balled up. So plenty around this stoppage here. We've seen a game of footy here at Country Homes Living Reserve. Just waiting now for that final whistle. Glenunga had their opportunities, but it may be a bridge too far from this point here. And that is going to be a ball up. Umpire very slow to get everyone back up. But up we go again, and there is the siren. They were challenged and challenged by a rampaging Glenunga, but it wasn't to be. The class of Port District shines through in the end, and they get the win by 16 points. It was a great game of footy, and Port District have won one they needed to move their season along to 5-1. Glenunga on the other side of it, 1-5. 8 goals, 20-68 Port District. 7 goals, 10-52. A great game of footy for all those involved in blistery conditions. The weather certainly getting the better of both teams out there, especially with those conditions. A few rush behinds, but some excellent kicks for goal as well. A real contested game of football. A game of football that we really did enjoy up here in the Adelaide Footy League commentary box. And still they embrace. Abe Davis, is he okay? A couple of times he went down with a little bit of injury. But still, a shake hands at the end of a hard-fought battle. Two teams that many expected to go pretty far into the season. Port District certainly look like they're going to be one, but potentially, as Adam Jeffrey said off the top of the broadcast, are Glenunga now more worried about what's behind them than what's in front? After the full-time highlights, we go, of course, thanks to Dartfish this is. We had the half-time highlights, and this will feature just about everywhere. Smith opened the scoring for everybody running into the opening goal of the game. We came back in here, and this was an excellent effort as well. Ferns, ball flicked through, and then Parsons just about got this one inside forward 50. It's a drilling ball, and Smith had 2 in a number of moments. Of course, as we watch this one sail through, post-game ceremony coming up as well. Don't forget about that. That one went straight through the middle from Smith. Great effort. The 3 award winners will be with us very, very shortly. Who was Adam Jeffries picked? Well, I wish I could tell you, but I simply don't know. He keeps his cards very, very close to his chest. Butterworth sent the footy out of the defensive 50, and then it was a fantastic mark as well. As Rose lined up for goal here early on in the contest and got that one straight through the middle too.
Yep, that's fine. Do you want to head down?
Of course, we did mention some women's action coming up as well here at Largs Bay Country Home Living Reserves. And the Port District women's team have just made their way in. They're in Division 3, taking on Mitcham. Footy from Trugarkas. And he found that kick out towards the outer side. Of course, a massive thank you to Dartfish and all our sponsors. Dartfish providing the highlights every time a goal is kicked. And this one somehow worked out. Offman, it was just kind of a little bit of him just getting excited and able to kick a goal in the end, and he did just that. Plenty of highlights to enjoy here across this game. Gaffney, this was very nonchalant from him. It looked like he'd just gone for a stroll in the park, but he kicked a pretty good goal. It was a ripping effort. And Adam Jeffries is almost ready. I can see him just in front of me. We won't throw down to him just yet. Obviously not going to throw it down to him just yet, just because he's still sorting some stuff out. But there are some worthy award winners out in this game. In time. This is another excellent passage of play. Faye, it was some kind of kick. Cleared it from the liquor paint of 50. And I couldn't quite believe it when he kicked it. Adam Jeffries boundary side with the award winners.
Looking strong. We've got our award winners. Our best on ground gets the Belgravia New Balance voucher. He gets a Bartley Tavern voucher and the Archie's footwear. That goes to Cooper Gaffney. Well done to you. Our magic moment, which is the Bianco magic moment, goes to Harry Dwyer. Had about 18 shots on goal in the second half. Harry did. He kicked one, so we'll give him a magic moment. And he kicked two. All right, we'll give you that. And Joey Haynes, best team man. Let's start with you, Harry, as Bianco magic moments for the snap goal that got your team going in the third quarter. Tell us about your game. You did have a lot of the ball inside pitch today. You're disappointed you didn't kick 4 or 5, but just happy to get the win.
Just happy to get the win today.
Well done. You had a great game. That game will come when you kick 6 or 7, but well done on that magic snap in the second quarter. Joey Haynes, wouldn't be fun being a forward on a windy day. Half back, loose, get the footy. That's where you want to be, isn't it? Well done to you.
Yeah, it's good, especially when you get back there.
Yeah, just wax and get the possessions down back. And Cooper, again, a lot of intercept marks. Made that one mistake, but you butted up and got it back. But we thought you were fantastic intercept mark. And the ball use, where it was a tricky day for a lot of the kickers. You guys used the ball really well, so well done to you, Cooper. Well done to you. Very humble, the Port Districts boys, but they're just used to winning now. Well done to these guys. We'll throw back to the commentary box. Go and enjoy and stay around and watch the ladies game. Well done, boys. Cheers.
Guys, quick photo.
Back into the highlights. An absolutely brilliant effort from all of the award winners there. It was incredibly insightful to hear their thoughts after what was a great game of footy and a great hard-fought win for Port District. Back to the action though. This was Ferns lining up and kicking his first, and he absolutely lent that one back. And it was a fantastic goal. Back into the highlights. Obviously, Ferns then flicked across towards Carpenty, and they were able to get a goal out the back here and sliding into the post, but it wasn't quite a goal. Hit the post, and we thought it was going to go through, but it didn't just quite happen. Long kick from Carter that then saw him kick a goal. Was the first goal he kicked in the game. And then this was when Dwyer started to kind of own the show from this point on. Obviously, we see this kick sail through. And it worked back just enough for him to be able to kick a goal. Adam Jeffries, down there with the award winners, how are they feeling?
Yeah, like I said, I think players like Gaffney and Haynes have played enough footy to know that wasn't a game for the time capsule, but just professional now, Port Districts, aren't they? It's got the job done. You know, it was a good challenge by Glenunga today. They were down in the first half, but they really got the job done in the second half. So plenty of possessions for those guys at half back.
Yeah, it really was. It was quite a great game of football, to be honest with you. And as we can see the highlights, not one for the time capsule, but an entertaining contest nevertheless.
Yeah, like I said, that's Division 1 football though, and we'll get used to it when the weather starts to come in after the June break. We'll see a lot of lower scoring, scrappy games. But yeah, Port Districts, like I said, 8 goals, 20. I would like to know how many rush behinds were in that score. But yeah, well done to Port District. They deserve the win. Glenunga aren't too far away, are they? You know, for a team that's 8th on the ladder, they're going to be hard to beat. Might have just found a little bit of form today, potentially. I'm not sure who they're playing next week. But yeah, Glenunga, a little bit of work to do though, haven't they? Like, they don't look far off it, do they? They're only a couple of kicks off today, but at the end of the day, they're 1-5, and now you have to start thinking, mate, is it too early? I don't know. You've got to get a win soon and get that relegation battle out of your head.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing though. Sometimes your own worst enemy is what's between your ears there and your brain. You just start thinking, oh God, I hope we don't go down, and then you just can't find that win. Because you have to assume at some point Payneham will find a win, and at some point Broadview will find a win.
Well, to mine already, I don't know, next time when Payneham play Glenunga, that's a big game of football as well, isn't it? Because we think we know where Broadview are at. we think there's going to be one unlucky team, a good club, potentially get relegated. Such as the nature of the competition this year. But there is a long way to go. Like, I wouldn't rule out Glenunga just yet. They're the type of team that if they just do find that win and then find a bit of form, they can win games on their home ground, can't they, Lockie? You know, if they get that fortress back up and running, man. The other thing that Glenunga won't do is they won't panic. You know, they've got experienced people around their club, experienced players. There won't be any panic. They'll just review, see where they can get better. There's some things they can do better today. They've got a few personnel down. Obviously, they need to get Abe Davis up and running, don't they? We know that the big fella's obviously carrying an injury, but he hasn't really been able to impact today's game, has he? And they desperately need him to do that for them.
Well, it's not always a bad thing either to get relegated. Like, obviously, you see the pictures, and it's never nice on the fans to go back down. But the crazy thing is, sometimes it does revitalise you to go back down towards Division 2.
Yeah, it can, but Glenunga won't want to be in that space. They'll see themselves as being a Division 1 club now. But yeah, like I said, you can just see the way the ladder's unfolding is, you know, when you got powerhouse clubs really like Payneham and Glenunga in 8th and 9th, there's going to be an unlucky team later on in the season. But at the end of the day, it's not unlucky. You've got to win games of football, and Glenunga haven't been able to do that so far this year. They haven't been belted off the park, have they? But they just haven't been able to get the wins.
Yeah, everyone starts on the same amount of points, and it is really something that's not necessarily I guess kind of untold in football, where you do have some unlucky results that go against you, but not over the course of 18 weeks. If you go down, you're not unlucky. You just that's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes.
That's what makes the Adelaide Footy League such a good competition, though, because a lot of other competitions, if there's no relegation and you're sitting 8th, 9th, you put your Abe Davis away for the year and get ready for next year, don't you? But now you have to avoid that relegation, so it makes every week exciting. Still a lot of footy to be played, though, Lockie. 12 rounds of footy still to go.
Plenty of footy still to be played. And speaking of footy, well, it doesn't get any easier for Glenunga. They're up against Golden Grove, who we think will probably have won their game today. Prince Alfred, well, Port District will go down the highway and join them at Park 9. Payneham Norwood Union against Broadview Tigers. Someone has to win a game of football. Or could we get a draw? Ooh. Who knows? Ross Trevor against Sacred Heart. That's going to be a great clash. Salisbury North against St. Peter's as well. Salisbury North looked like they were a little bit... looked like they should have gotten the win over Broadview Tigers today. And St. Peter's, they were down at halftime.
Yeah, St. Peter's at Salisbury North's a good game next week, isn't it? I think we'll be at Glenunga for the Glenunga Golden Grove game, which again is a big game. But even the game, this is why I said the relegation battle is fierce. This is why the games at the bottom of the table are still good as well, aren't they? So 5 really good games of football next week. Yeah,
finally. Could round 7 be the week when Payneham get it all started? We don't know. We certainly won't find out until next weekend. But we are getting very, very close to the end of our time with you this afternoon. Just got to mention, of course, our sponsors, because they are absolutely amazing. We cannot do this without them week in, week out. Of course, Filming Footy, Sports Interactive, Classic Clashes, Custom by ORTC, High Five E-Bikes, Dartfish, Archie's, Jag Meatworks and Kimberley Resorts. Everybody who is a major, major part of this, thank you so much. The production team, we had Aiden today. He's the cameraman for a couple of weeks while Yushin's away. Of course, James Moody does a lovely job on that roving mic each week. Hugo, the producer, a massive, massive thank you to him and to our boss, Johnny Douglas. Thank you to Adam Jeffries for coming in. Always great to spend a couple of hours with you on a Saturday afternoon. My name is Lockie Gould, and please, Port District fans, enjoy the song.